in education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want.
George has always been right.
Government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, from Charlotte. Another line going from in Florida down to Tampa. Of Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him. The idea that Los Angeles and what am I doing here? For two reasons. One, the best way to get something done. Let's be clear. I hear it all the time. Cumulative deficit, I can play for the programs many times.
Well, I'm sick and tired of smart guys.
Let me start off with two words. Made in America. Made in America.
Has Vladimir Putin been weakened by recent events? It's hard to tell, but he's clearly losing the war in Iraq. He's losing the war at home. And he has become a bit of a pariah around the world. It's not just NATO. It's not just the European Union. It's Japan. It's 40 nations.
Welcome back to another night of Shtick with Koolfrogg. I'll move that around a little bit. I like the war in Iraq one. It kind of something that should be there, but ending with "made in America," those two words just make me laugh so hard that it almost made me forget to click the last one. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know. You know what else I don't know about? America shirts. Where is America shirts? Does anybody know? Has anybody seen America shirts? Hello, Daisy, Suzanne, Bullhorn, Tweety, Robin, Caitlin, Gohagen, Shiloh man. What is up? Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Glad you're all here. Robin, did you want to come up here? If you want to come up here, the show doesn't have to be what it was. We can have fun. We can do whatever. We can do whatever it is that you'd like to do. The name of the show can be changed. It's super simple and easy to do. Let me know if that's what you'd like to do. No, America Shirts had suggested that he wanted to get you to come around. Come up. Again, let me know. As far as news goes, we are going to actually hit up and go through some Canada Day stuff. What is up, Mike?
Hello. How's it going?
It's going. It's going. So we're just trying to figure out.
That's good.
About 30 seconds behind. Robin was going to actually join or not. She wants to join.
The question is, did the robin talk to the frog? And is the robin scared of the frog, or is the frog scared of the robin? I'm not entirely sure how that works.
There's nobody's afraid of anybody. She just she wants to come join us.
I mean, I don't know.
For
Like,
our
I mean,
bid
have you ever
on-
thought of like what a robin thinks of a frog? Like, I mean,
No, I want to know what a robin thinks of Canada Day and a couple of Canadians, a couple of situations happening in Canada.
Kanakistan.
How's it going, Go Hagen? Good to see you, brother. Don't change things for me. I'm here. I'm hanging. Nobody's afraid of anyone. Of course, nobody's afraid of anyone. That's why the link that
She's
was
laughing.
just sent to you, that one that was just sent to you, you go click on it. You bring yourself in here. You come talk to us about some Canadian things. Hey, Rose. Good to see you, dear. Glad you're here.
So
You're-
I guess
you're-
officially happy belated Canada Day to all of our
right,
lovely
belated
little
Canada
Canadian
Day.
viewers.
Yes. And, and as we're speaking about it, even for
Hello.
some of you that are over on that East Coast, it's even past belated. It's even past belated. It's past that first day. You're all sitting at midnight, so it's the day after that even.
You mean I can't say belated after like 2 days have passed? When was that a rule?
I don't know. I could be wrong. It's just my opinion. What's up, Grimsbar? Good to see you, brother. How's everyone doing today? We're doing wonderful. We're doing wonderful.
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
I see you hanging out over on a particular server. I can, you can come join us. I don't know if there's or them, the rest of those that are sitting over in the frog pond. Always welcome, Grimsbar. Always. Don't know what happens. Not gonna ask.
Don't ask, don't tell. It's one of those things.
One of those things. Okay. So, Robin, where's Ash? Is she around? AKA Killshot, are you around?
I don't know. I did message her several days ago, or a couple days ago, or however long ago it was. I don't know. And I didn't get a response. I don't know. I mean, I'm actually starting to be concerned about like the whole fire thing and like how close it was in proximity to her. Like, I'm starting to wonder if she had to actually, like, did she have to evacuate? Did the power go out? Did something else happen? I don't freaking know. Poor Ash. Prayers up for Ash there, I guess you could say. But
Shadowwing says, "Sir, are you in need of assistance? Who are you speaking of?"
and who is Sir? Which Sir are you speaking of?
Young lady.
Oh, well, I guess it's to me because I'd be Sir and you're my Lord. So, right, everybody refers to you as,
I prefer
as
to be
Lord Koolfrogg. Right.
my liege.
Yes, my liege. Yes. Oh, my liege, Mr. Lord Koolfrogg. Okay.
It always makes it a fun day when we can add people to the show for enjoyment, for the enjoyment of the topic, because sometimes some things just need to be shared. So while we wait for Cheyenne Robin to bring herself in here, dear.
When the red robin comes a bopping along.
She can go. She can come in here. She can give us her thought.
There'll be no more sobbing when you sob. Oh crap! There's lots of sobbing. Oh god, it's this thing. It's this creature. Oh no, and that fake smile too. Oh, it's painful.
What is she?
Wait, did I cut out? No, I didn't.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on with the show just slowly. It looks like she's gonna try to make it. Give her a little time. Malish.
So,
Yes, Charlemagne. Malish. All right.
Hello, everyone. Happy Canada Day.
Oh
No
god,
matter where you
God have mercy.
We made it 4 seconds before we got a. Oh God.
Have
And
mercy
even
on
my
us
click,
poor
so maybe
sinners.
3 seconds. It's so bad.
Justina Trudeau.
are, July 1st is an opportunity
Justina
for us all
Castro.
to celebrate the country we call home, the people we share it with, and the future we're building together.
The future for building together. You see the look on his face as he says that, right? Even he disgusts himself when he says such words that he knows he does not mean. Those are just words to make people think.
He needs that multicolored pin that all the WEF leaders wear. Oh wait, no, that's just the corporate side. Crap. Anyway, yeah, he needs some like proud WEF pin right there on this lapel, like Sean Hannity does with the CIA and the FBI, as he interviews the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, basically trying to like prop him up as like a presidential candidate. Oh, but he's totally conservative. Anyway, that's a whole other discussion. Oh my God, where am I going? I don't know, like anywhere away from that face. It's kind of where I'm going at this point.
You got another 2 minutes.
We can and we should take pride in all those things. After all, Canada is the envy of the world. People fleeing violence and persecution dream of a life here. Businesses open headquarters in our cities and manufacturing plants in our towns.
So this is the part where I'd have the question for the Canadian. Like, are towns in Canada about the same as they would be here in the States? Are they going to look the same? Are they going to, you got drug-riddled streets.
Up yours, woke moralists.
Homeless
There's your
people.
Canadian.
That Canadian.
World leaders look to us for leadership in times of crisis. Wherever our
They
flag
do,
flies,
really?
it's recognized as a symbol of democracy, of freedom, and of hope. It represents the values we all hold dear, and it is a promise of a country where newcomers are welcomed with open arms, where differences are celebrated and diversity is embraced, a country where you are free to be who you are and love whom you love, where everyone has a real and fair chance at success, and a country where we acknowledge historical wrongs and learn from the past in order to build a better future for everyone.
I think I am officially going to vomit. I should have brought a bucket of something with me,
I mean,
knowing that we were going to go
so
over this individual.
when you actually take in all the words that he says,
Cringe, cringe, mega ultra nuclear cringe right now? Like, does no one else feel he's radiating cringe? Like, it's so bad. Like, it's just terrible.
It's
Like, it's the
rating so
same
much
mantra.
cringe that it's shaking up America's church so much that he's about ready to cry.
Cry over that? I mean, I suppose if I was like in a torture chamber or something like that, I don't know. But like this, like, I mean, yeah, I just like, I don't know, I'm a little nauseous all of a sudden. Little bit nauseated at the moment. But I mean, like, this is like the whole like globalist type shilling of like, oh, well, we're so morally superior. We learn from mistakes of the past. We do this. Oh, everybody, homosexual marriage stuff. Da 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 da. Diversity. Diversity is our strength. And on and on and on and on and freaking on it goes. And this dude's the worst. That is, if he's a dude. I'm not sure. At this freaking point, I don't know.
He might just be a swamp creature.
However those creatures identify themselves.
World Economic Forum.
But,
those kind of swamp creatures.
All right.
The ones that you want to eliminate massive amounts of population.
And again, there's like build better future, build back better. Like that whole mantra is like a WEF thing that was released. All of the stooges, they all have to say the same thing. The Biden administration, when it was running against Trump, right? Like that was the whole shtick with them. Canada had it. Several other like European countries had it. On and on it goes.
So they start pushing for this Bidenomic stuff, whatever, something similar.
they have Castronomics.
Oh, come on. All right.
My friends, Canada has withstood incredible challenges.
Oh my God.
And we've always made it through.
He said my friends, like, oh, that was so bad.
True to our values. We did it when our grandparents stood up to fascism on the beaches of Normandy and across Europe. We're doing it now when we step up to help those affected by wildfires. And we do it every day when we take a stand against hatred.
Really? Because from everything that I gathered, you told all of the local people to stand down and not do anything about it.
Who started the fire?
So I wonder, oh, that's another great question. Isn't it? Like, because I've been hearing all kinds of reports about like arson and things. And I was like, oh, gee, I wonder how that'll happen. But no, we're just going to like help people and it's going to be lovely. After you let everything burn down, then you're going to help. Of course, because again, problem, action, solution, right? Like, oh, yeah. Yeah, after we have allowed you to be burned out of house and home, don't worry. The government will come in and pay you for compensation. But sorry, you can't live here anymore because it's not dangerous. It's too dangerous. But hey, we're going to build like camps and mega cities and other things over there. Care to consolidate yourselves? Like, like.
What's up, Tweety?
In the nation. We are from far and wide. But united, we are 40 million strong, and there is no challenge we cannot overcome together. So today, let's celebrate each other, and let's celebrate as we continue to build this great country, and let's continue to seize every opportunity we can to make this country even better for our children and our children's children. Happy Canada Day, everyone.
He's worried about our children's children. I hope he's not like Joe Biden when he thinks about children's children.
Oh my. Whoops.
Kind of a interesting.
He sounds like the biggest sissy that there's ever been, and by the way, he is. Like, does anybody have the footage of him, like, fake crying and like pit pattering underneath of his eyes and daubing his eyes? Like, it's so sissified and so fake. It's just
Seemed
unbelievable.
right.
It's
It
off the
seemed
charts.
super fake. Like he was just saying a bunch of words that were put on front of him, not how he necessarily felt.
I mean, I don't think that Castro of Cuba was ever thinking that his son would end up being this way. But hey, that's
You know,
that's how that happened.
I see Charlemagne saying thanks for celebrating July 4th, Justin. As interesting as that is, we went out and we actually saw a ton of fireworks this past last night.
You drove up into Canada, did you? No, I'm just kidding.
No, we actually didn't. We actually it was like some private area down here in South Dakota. We got invited.
They were celebrating Canada Day.
We took the invite for fireworks for the 4th because it's technically 4th of July weekend. Like, a lot of people don't realize that. They don't, like, something doesn't click when it falls on a Tuesday. Get that right? This is 4th of July weekend.
Of course. Why wouldn't it be?
Right. So have you celebrated anything that you like you normally would for 4th of July weekend? There wasn't like a lot of big push or oomph for 4th of July weekend. It was like a failed holiday. What's up, Axiom? How you doing, brother? It's like a failed holiday that just occurred after Juneteenth. That seemed to be very eventful. We'll kind of get into the events of some of that of the goings on of this weekend as well, as we move our way through the night here. But anyway, let's move on from this fakeness. Justin Trudeau.
Can we really though?
Yeah, well,
Can we
because
really?
I know Robin's still
though?
listening to us, and she's going to eventually come join us. We're going to continue celebrating Canada Day.
Look at that fancy red.
What is Canada Day, and why is it celebrated? Wow. It says Canada Day is the day all Canadians celebrate as their country on July 1st, which started as Dominion Day, changed to Canada Day in 1982, and commemorates the unification of colonies within the British North American Act. And then you can see there was Trudeau's little speech that we just listened to. It says, as you know, Canada is still part of British Commonwealth, and with the British North America Act signed on July 1st, 1867, the Brits and the soon-to-be Canadians agreed to unify the colonies of Upper and Lower Canada, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. The British North American Act also served as the constitution for the country until 1982. The story of how the country came to be was not like other parts of America, where there was massive bloodshed and extreme violence from European colonizers. This day is celebrated as a peaceful transition from a colony to a country. Can you tell how where the article is kind of going with that? Kind of a little bit of a leftist, tip on there or whatever. It was like, oh, it was bloodshed and extreme violence. I get it. Sometimes, certain things need to happen that not everybody's proud of. But they happened, and guess what? We won. We won for now. At first, British Canadians did not identify as that and continued calling themselves British citizens. However, with the passage of time, This became less frequent in the 50th anniversary of unification of colonies in 1917. Dominion Day became a national celebration. Canadians wanted to change the name to the national holiday, and a bill was drafted in 1946, give a different name to it, but it was stalled in the House of Commons because its members did not agree on what the new name of the celebration should be. When the country celebrated the 100th anniversary of the creation of Milestone, gave way to newly founded Canadian patriotism, and people began calling it Canada Day before it was officially instated by the government in 1982. For some reason, they get some weird food that they like to eat up in Canada.
Some weird food.
Some weird food. It's just what are the dishes that they enjoy in Canada? I don't know why this is important, but most people know of poutine. People that know of anything that's anywhere near Canada as being a very popular staple. Potato with gravy and cheese. Then you have, for whatever, do we need to, what, some weird maple bacon crack dish? Is that what you're doing? Really? Crack dish.
I'm looking on these up.
It sounds weird. Sounds like
Ooh,
you got something
that
weird going on
looks
there.
fantastic.
Did you look?
It's
What
like
did you look
a
up? Maple bacon crack dish.
yeah.
Well, you show us.
It's like what is it? It looks like crackers. It's like sweetened crackers. It almost looks like crackers. It's like soaked in like maple syrup. I mean, obviously, it doesn't look like a what do I want to say? It doesn't look like a baking soda cracker, like a soda cracker. It doesn't look like that. But it looks like a thin bread or something like that, and then it's like soaked in maple syrup and then topped with bacon. It looks fantastic. Where am I at?
It's a perfect day to celebrate Canadian and move forward to make today better than yesterday. That's quite the original Canadian thought. Thank you so much, eh? Wishing everyone a happy Canada Day 2023 in the country's 156th birthday. There you go, 156 years. They celebrate their birthday on this day, so I guess we should we could all sing happy birthday to Canada. Happy birthday, Canada. Happy birthday, Canada. Happy birthday, Canada. Oh, happy birthday, Canada. Never heard of it. What?
Anyways, here's some.
What's up, T-Rex?
That dish there,
Good to see you, brother.
As you can see, it looks very delectable. Look at that. Look at that yumminess.
Sure, it looks kind of triangular.
You like break it up that way, or like in different shapes or whatever.
Do you eat this stuff, Robin? Why do I call
They look like bread squares that they like crack in half.
I don't know what my problem is, Robin. We could ask you straight out, but that was yesterday. I'm not saying happy birthday to him again. I already said happy birthday to him yesterday. T-Rex. Yesterday. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing that one. We're kind of trying to delay some stuff here before we get too far into. So she said that she was gonna try. She's got to drive for a little bit first. I get it. I get it. Eventually, she'll come in here. She'll tell us how she feels about Canada. How a true Canadian feels.
Now, is she actually talking about the dish, or is she trying to crack a joke about crack?
Uh,
I can't.
Not so
I don't
sure.
exactly know.
Not so sure. So, wildfires. We all know, Canada's well known this year for its wildfires. There's been a massive amount of them. This is how long will Canada burn? This is a recent article from today to kind of give us a little bit of detail on what to expect and how long to expect it to actually continue. It says Canadian fires continue to burn and will send smoke over New York City and the East Coast throughout the summer, as experts warn firefighting operations could last until September. Till September? Well, there's no summer left for anybody. A lot of, I would almost assume that, a lot of that, blocking the sun as it did is probably a bad deal. I would think that blocking the sun in any way, shape, or form would not be a good idea. Might
Well,
just,
but if you asked Bill Gates, well, he would have something different to say about blocking out the sun for all of you peasants.
just Bill Gates, or is there anybody else you think we could actually talk to about that? Oh, we'll get into that in a little bit here. We'll get into that. We'll explain who else. Why? Because we can. Canadian fires continue to burn and will send smoke over New York City and the East Coast throughout the summer, as experts are warned of firefighting operations could last until September. Canada is experiencing the worst fire season on record, with firefighters coming in from all over the nation to help. As of Sunday afternoon, there were more than 568 fires active across Canada, 281 of them, of which are classified as out of control. The Canadian Agency Forest Fire Center reported. David Roth, forecaster of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Weather Prediction Center, told MSN that Americans will remain at risk in more smoke-filled days ahead until the fires are fully out, with those feeling it more who are closer to the border. Meanwhile, Corinne Pelletier, Quebec's forest firefighting agency, told CBS New York that bearing many heavy periods of rainfall, the agency expects firefighting operations to last again until September. And you can see that these massive amount of fires, just huge swaths of trees being decimated and smoke spewed into the air, is disturbing and very disgusting. You can see the haze. When you can see the haze, you're actually standing in that much haze yourself. There you go. There's a picture of a Capitol building. Absolutely disturbed. That really cuts out a lot of sun, and it really does destroy things, disturb things. Where is she? What's up, RZ? How you doing? Good to see you. Glad you're here. So then, something a little bit more pressing when it comes down to what is actually going on. So we've actually talked about this in the last few days. We've talked about this link tax. Do you remember us talking about link tax?
I mean, I've heard, Discord chats about it.
It says Google tells Canada it won't pay link tax. Will pull news links from search. So you go, go looking around, trying to find news articles, anything that has anything to do with Canada, and you get very little. You get very little. It's amazing what they're actually trying to block. And if we're seeing very little, you almost assume that those Canadians are getting just as little. They're getting, only what they want them to hear. As this particular article kind of goes into it a little bit, it says, in response to the new Canadian law requiring payments of new organizations, Google said it will remove links to Canadian news sources from Google Search and Google News for users who access the services in Canada. Google's announcement yesterday followed a similar announcement by Meta that it will end news access on Facebook and Instagram. The new law's duty to bargain requires large search engines and social media services to negotiate payments with news businesses or groups of news business. Sorry, this is not in the right spot for me. It says the law requires mediation and then arbitration if negotiations don't result in a deal, and the law is expected to take effect in 6 months. We have now informed the government that when the law takes effect, we unfortunately will have to remove links to Canadian news from our search news and discovered products in Canada. That bill C-18 will also make it untenable for us to continue offering our Google News Showcase product in Canada. So basically, the way it's sounding is they're actually going to remove placement of news in searchable news products. And anytime that you try searching anything, they're only going to direct you to where they want to direct you to, only to certain amount of news. They don't really want you to know all of it. They would rather keep you hidden from the truth. And those journalists that may just actually be trying to bring you actual news. Since we have now informed the government that I already read that, didn't I? I did. Google complained that Canada's Online News Act requires two companies to pay simply showing links to news, something that everyone else does for free. The unprecedented decision to put the price on links, is so-called link tax, creates uncertainty for our products and exposes us to uncapped financial liability simply for facilitating Canadians' access to news from Canadian publishers. We have been saying for over a year that this is the wrong approach for supporting journalism in Canada and may result in significant changes to our products. No thoughts, no thoughts at all. Nothing from the shirt. Hello, I'm the silent shirt.
How dare you?
I was really close.
Think 7-year-old groomer. I'm just kidding. But this right here, this is They want to control literally everything. I mean, you know, this is.
Well,
I mean,
that's what they're
it
doing.
should come as no surprise. So again, with this, right, controlling the what news you watch, what news you listen to, news articles you read, all that stuff, right?
Well, right.
And then Google's like, well, sorry, but we can't pay. So in essence, then, so this thing is about if you post things outside of the Canadian government and it goes into Canada on the interwebs in Canada, then Google has to pay the Canadian government, right?
Apparently. But Google's saying that they're going to refuse. So if Google says that they're going to refuse, and you look at who the parent company is to Google, and then you look at what other things things that Google owns, like YouTube, it really kind of makes you wonder how far will they go, and will they actually start shutting down more and more quote unquote freedom of speech.
Yep. That's what
Greenspire
this is
says
all about.
just shut down Google in Canada. You could. You could. There's plenty of things that they already do.
I mean, there's DuckDuckGo, there's Brave, there's Mozilla Firefox. Like, who needs Google?
Right. But then you look around and you think about it, and you see what's happening here in the United States with like the TikTok bill, trying to ban other countries from being able to actually show their content in your country could only become more dangerous as we do such a thing. So all of a sudden you get different countries putting different blocks on different things, and all of a sudden you got so many blocks all over the place that it really wouldn't make much sense. So then, I'm going to read through this next little section here, and we're going to kind of switch it up a little bit. So it says, Canada officials blast big tech. It says, with the law now approved, the Department of Canadian Heritage is tasked with drafting regulations and implement. In a tweet, Heritage Minister Pablo Rodriguez criticized Google's announcement that it would hold news links in Canada. Big tech would rather spend money changing their platforms to block news from Canadians instead of paying for a small share of the billions that make the advertising dollars. Canadians won't be bullied. Big tech isn't bigger than Canada. The Online News Act is simple. Tech giants should compensate news organizations fairly for their work. Google took a similar position against Australian link tax law in January 2021, but Google agreed to pay for news in Australia just weeks later. An Australian government report in December 2022 said that the law had been a success to date, resulting in over 30 commercial agreements between digital platforms and cross-section of Australian news business. Google also agreed to pay French news sites. So, what's going on here? We've already done it on YouTube. Of course I have. That's why we speak in code when we do just about anything that we do. Big tech should just ban Canadian government, their officials from their services. Or happens overseas first, then comes here. I mean, I guess. So then, before we actually move on to some of the controversial stuff to go along with it, there's this other. I got too many tabs open here. There's this other one What's up, Great Liquor? Good to see you. He is over on that Rumble side. Y'all hit that like button for us over there. So then here's the French side of things. Here's the French side of things. It says Google agrees to pay French news sites to send them traffic. It says French news sites have prevailed in negotiations with Google over neighboring rights. A new legal right granted in 2019 EU copyright directive. An agreement between Google and the French news industry establishes a framework within which Google will negotiate individual licensing agreements with individual news organizations, according to Google. Under these deals, French news articles will be featured in the new Google product called News Showcase. This isn't the outcome Google wanted. For years, European news organizations have tried to force Google to pay them for the privilege of indexing their articles, and for years Google flatly refused to do so. When Spain passed legislation to force Google to pay to link in Spanish news organizations in 2014, Google responded by shutting down Google News in Spain. Google tried to use the same playbook in France after the passage of the EU copyright directive. France was the first country to transpose the EU directive into its own laws. In 2019, Google announced it was going to stop displaying snippets of the French news articles in search results. Google believed that showing only news story headlines, not brief excerpts of or from articles, would bring it into compliance with the new law. But that move earned a rebuke from France's competition regulator, which held that the move was likely the abuse of Google's monopoly power. Sorry about that. Google has around 90% of French start market. The French Competition Authority held that the deal Google offered to news sites, let us index the site for free and we won't index it at all, was an abuse at their market power and the contrary to the spirit of the new French law. French authorities ordered Google to conduct good faith negotiations and the news industry to decide how much Google would pay news sites for their content, and they made clear that the number had better not be zero. These negotiations are apparently successful, and Google's announcement offers a few details about the new framework. The remuneration that it included in these licensing agreements is based on the criteria such as the publisher's contribution to political and general information and the daily volume of publications, its monthly internet traffic, according to the announcement. So, when I read this and I actually think about some of the stuff, like, because of how I actually, conduct a show, how I produce things, how, go through an article, read through it. If the article that I'm reading is banned in your country, will it actually finally eventually come up for me and tell me that certain things are banned in certain countries, like because we're actually talking about Canada as much as we are we flagged by Canada for being news that they don't necessarily are they coming after us? The agreement is particularly significant because it offers a model of European countries that want to force Google to fork over cash to their own news sites. In the past, Google's hardball tactics deterred most European countries from trying to force Google to pay up. But with the passage of the EU copyright directive, European countries formed a united front against Google, making it much harder for Google to resist. Google's capitulation in France will weaken its bargaining position with other European countries, passes their own versions of French law, and news organizations in other countries line up to share the Google cache. So when you actually think about it, because of they're pushed with the EU countries, and the way it is, and they're most likely won't actually shut down uh, Google being used in almost any European country. They have actually gone to the point of actually shutting down Canada and saying that they don't really care, and they're not going to do it. They don't want anything to do with it. America Shirts, are you okay? I put him to sleep. Awesome. I love it when I put him to sleep. It's always so much fun. Still, the U.S. bill is controversial. So, when it comes down to it, so you can see that there's bills that were actually part of this, that were part of in the United States that are similar and just as controversial with the U.S. public as some of the stuff that's coming out of Canada is. So this is in the U.S. Senators Amy Klobuchar and John Kennedy in March reintroduced the Journalism Competition and Preservation Act, which would provide antitrust exemptions for the publishers of online content and collectively negotiate with dominant online platforms regarding the terms of which the content is distributed. The bill was advanced in the full Senate by the Senate Judiciary Committee in a 14-7 vote in June 15th. We've seen massive declines in local news over the past few decades, driven in part by large online gatekeepers like Google and Facebook, siphoning away more and more of the advertising revenue that news organizations have traditionally relied upon to fund their work. Senator Judiciary Committee Dick Durbin said the JCPA will help reverse the trend by allowing news publishers to band together and enter into structured negotiations with the biggest online platforms over the access to the news content. The proposed U.S. law was opposed by the tech industry and about 24 advocacy groups, which wrote in a letter that the bill forces platforms to carry and pay for the content of any digital journalism provider that becomes part of a joint negotiation entity, regardless of how extreme their content. The letter criticized and proposed arbitration process, noting that the publishers in the Facebook and Google have provided dramatically different estimates of the value of news and online platforms. The values are simply irreconcilable. By definition, the arbitrators will be choosing the wildly inflated and deflated offers. The bill is also artificially one-sided. It precludes consideration of any benefit provided to any negotiating publisher or broadcaster for being listed in search or gaining reach on a platform, and any negotiation structured so that one party cannot walk away from the table is inherently not fair or level, the letter said. When you actually think about all this and you actually, pull it in my opinion, I see it as a potential, something that could come down on myself as well as plenty of others that simply just go and try to report how things are actually going and why things have changed and what they're trying to change them to. That they actually come down on us and be like, now, wait a minute, you can't actually tell people that they're in danger of us actually shutting down their free speech, because that's, indeed itself going after, what they're about, which sometimes doesn't make sense. California considers journalism usage fee. There's also California Journalism Preservation Act that would require journalism usage fee payments from online platforms to news providers. Santa Clara University law professor Eric Goldman called the proposal unconstitutional and wrote a letter to state senators urging them to reject it. In addition to arguing the proposed state law would violate the First Amendment, Goldman said it is unlikely to create any sustain any journalism at all and will simply enrich the journalism operators as stockholders, even if they don't spend any payments on journalism at all. Arbitrations will likely set royalties that are greater than the profits of the associated content, which encourages online services to categorically remove that content. Goldman wrote, if so, CJPA counterproductively would make journalism more obscure and further impoverish journalism operations by reducing their referral traffic. I think I actually put America's Shirts to sleep. Now we can all pick on him. It worked. It totally worked. I put him to sleep. I win. Maybe not. Maybe not. Well, as far as that goes, Canada gets what it deserves, and it got a part of my show. And there you go, Canada. I hope you enjoy the little bit of information that I was able to actually give you from Canada, for Canada, in and around Canada. Canada. Will Raleigh Sport Raleigh. What is up? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Empower still, please. This bill is 100% socialism. America's Shirts. I hope he's doing okay. He had issues last week. And other world news. France deploys 45,000 police in fifth night of nationwide riots. To me, it really seriously reminds me a lot of Summer of Love. A few years ago, just in time for them to actually do such a thing. Officer goes in and shoots a young man. Feel sorry for the young man and his family. Really do. It really kind of it does sound right. The French government said Sunday. Hold on. Oh, he should be right back. So there's a good chance he's still coming back. We'll give him a few moments. We're going to actually talk about this particular incident. So it says the French government said Sunday that hundreds more had been arrested in the fifth night of rioting sparked by the police killing of a 17-year-old as police deployed reinforcements to flashpoint cities around the country. Protesters, mostly minors, have torched cars, damaged infrastructure, and clashed with police in an outpouring of rage since the officer shot Nahel M. point blank as he attempted to flee traffic stop on Tuesday. The killing was captured on video, which spread to social media and fueled anger over police violence against minorities, exposing severe racial tensions in France. See? That's what I'm saying. Right there. They're taking the playbook out of it from the United States, and they're going to actually use it. They're going to use it. They're actually looking at it. police officer shot a minority, and he should be drugged through the streets for everything that he was ever about. It's really kind of disturbing to actually think that this is exactly what we actually went through. It totally reminds you of a George Floyd type deal, where they're like, "Oh no," but now they're doing it there. They're doing it in France. This is a day after Nahil's lied to arrest in his hometown near Paris. The Interior Ministry said police said it made 719 arrests overnight, still a provisional tally after around 1,300 in the previous night. Some 45 police officers and what is it? Gendarmes? I don't even know what the heck that is. Were injured. 577 vehicles torched, 74 buildings set on fire, and 871 fires set in street and other public spaces. It said there is some footage. We can actually go back and look at that. It says more than 20 police stations and gendarmerie barracks were also attacked, and the ministry said about 45 police officers and gendarmeries were injured. 577 vehicles torched, 74 buildings, 871 fires. More than 20 police stations or gendarmerie barracks were also attacked. It seems as there's an awful lot of tension in the streets of France, as police have to be deployed to try taking down some of the happenings.
Ils ont mis le bâtiment à feu. Le bâtiment, il est à feu.
No clue what the dude just said, but you can see that there's a fire going on in one of the towers across the road. That could be scary to actually see. It's, displacement of that many people in a short period of time could actually cause more damage. So then there was another video that was in here. There's this one of the police walking. Don't know exactly where they're going. I don't think anybody does, but maybe them. But they look like they're ready to fight. Fight! It seems as though that these racial tension riots are something to actually take in and realize that this is the stuff that we actually went through here in the States for a good part of 2020. And
the only thing that I can't figure out is what is the reason as to why this is happening. Because 2020, that was all about the color revolution thing. Well, all this stuff is headed up by our intelligence agencies and things like that.
That's the thing. This is France doing the same thing. An officer went and shot a minor that just so happened to be a minority, exposing severe racial tensions in France. It was the second paragraph. I know you stepped away for a moment.
Well, I know what's been happening in France and all, but my whole thing is that in the United States they wanted to get in a new regime. What are they doing with France? Because Macron is a WEF shill, unless there's like other people in their, parliament and their legislature that they would like to oust. Other than that, not entirely sure. Or just in general, I guess it could be like a sort of Islamic culture revolution, because most of this is Islamic protest from the very large Islamic community that has now built itself up in France.
That made itself into the political side of things, because it seemed as though it's more of a politics thing, in my opinion, as opposed to it being news. that such a thing is happening. It really seriously seems very politically motivated for some reason. I have no clue what that reason is. Might be something that I'll be paying attention to, and we'll see if there's anything more that comes out of these racial tensions out of France. We'll totally check that out. We'll keep up with that.
I mean, I
So-
saw this video even of the Frenchies. I don't know. Can I pull it up here? It's like this YouTube short thing or whatever. And these people are literally sitting outside as stuff's like burning and exploding and stuff. Yeah, here. Like it's pretty nutty. Like it's everywhere. Like this. I mean, it's pretty nuts. And people are just like out eating dinner or whatever, and there's like a glass of wine, and it's just this giant, huge fire. I mean, it's just nuts. Like, there's all kinds of nuttiness going on over there.
But you know, it seems as though like I said though, it seems as it could be potentially racially motivated. If it's racially motivated, what is their motivation? What are they going after? I'm sure more and more information will come out of France on what that will actually be. You know, Satan respects pronouns. Yeah. I guess. He has so many of them. All right, here we go. Biden backs Bill Gates' plan to fight global warming by blocking the sun.
Of course,
still in politics.
Biden is already out of the sun so much of his life now. He's probably just like, oh, okay. He's not all that concerned. He's trying not to get sunburned sitting in the Oval Office, let alone Bill Gates, covering the entire sky. So, for some context there, ladies and gentlemen.
Democrat President Joe Biden's backing a plan by Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates to fight global warming using experimental geoengineering to block the sun. The plan, promoted by Gates, the leftist billionaire George Soros, involves blocking the sun's rays from reaching the Earth using solar geoengineering. The radical scheme would lower the planet's temperature and allegedly combat global warming. Allegedly. Biden's White House announced that the administration is considering a proposal to block the sun in an effort to meet global green agenda goals to cool the planet. The Biden admin made the announcement in the report published Friday. The White House report presents the concept of solar radiation modification as a means to rapidly cool the planet by limiting sunlight. Just one big huge sheet, right? Because we live on a planet that's flat. However, the administration emphasized that no decisions have been made regarding a geoengineering policy. The plans outlined in the report, which was prepared in response to a congressional directive, are still being considered by the Biden admin. The report highlights various methods of achieving SRM, but warns that each approach carries the risk of severe consequences if mismanaged. One strategy suggested increasing aerosol concentrations in the stratosphere to reflect solar radiation away from the Earth. Alternatives include augmenting cloud coverage over oceans or reducing cirrus cloud formations. What? How are you doing? How are you just gonna reduce cloud formations? What? How long have they been doing this?
It almost sounds like they have this down to a science. Interesting.
In the report, the administration asserts Biden's commitment to tackling the alleged climate crisis. Climate changes already have profound effects on physical and natural world, as well as the human well-being. And the report warns this affects these effects will only intensify as greenhouse gas concentrations rise and warming continues. Understanding these impacts is crucial to inform decisions regarding the potential role of SRM in mitigating the hardship associated with the climate change. Wrongingly, the report acknowledges that undertaking such a radical scheme could lead to significant disruptions in weather patterns, food supplies, biodiversity, geopolitics, and human health. Furthermore, the report warned that the potential of sudden rapid global warming if the decision to implement SRM was reversed and the sun's rays quickly heated the earth again. As Slate News reported, the plan was also recently promoted by the CBS News. The network also revealed that the U.S. government is currently investigating the stratospheric geoengineering. Bill Gates previously backed a major project at Harvard using balloons to deploy air cells.
Well, anything spray down the peasantry.
Balloons. The report went on to admit that Gates funded tests were put on hold after some pushback. The move from the Biden admin comes as peer-reviewed studies and expert analyses repeatedly suggest that the alleged global warming is a non-issue. However, in historical terms, Earth is at relatively low global temperatures and carbon dioxide levels. Peer-reviewed temperature data published by researchers CR. Wait a minute here. What? Earth is relatively low in global temperatures and carbon dioxide levels. Really? We're actually relatively low in global temperature. And the carbon that they've been complaining about seems to be also at a relatively low number. As they go and they burn down the trees in Canada to blame global warming. Peer-reviewed temperatures data published in researchers CR Scotti's carbon dioxide data published in R.A. Brunner and Yale University in the dataset GeoCarb 3 both show data that conflicts with the green agenda narrative of a climate crisis. According to the datasets, Earth's current carbon dioxide level of 420 ppm parts per million is compared to levels of over 2,000 parts per million of the Mesozoic era and over 4,000 in the Paleozoic era. The Earth's average global temperature is approximately 13.9 degrees Celsius, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association, compared to nearly 22 degrees Celsius at the peak temperature prior to the current quarter quaternary ice age, extending through much of the Mesozoic era and again through the periods of the Paleozoic era. Life on Earth flourished in both these eras, despite much higher carbon dioxide levels and much higher average global temperatures. So, it kind of seems as though this is the stuff that they want to actually kind of start pushing to do to try actually eliminating certain things to control the weather patterns is the way I'm looking at it. They don't really care about the temperature. It's how they can actually control the weather, so that way they can actually, uh, make it do things that
Bingo.
they want. Doesn't seem like they want that. It's actually about the temperature at all. The Cambrian explosion of life, roughly 544 million years ago, initiated some of the highest global temperatures and carbon dioxide levels of historic record. Nevertheless, the Biden admin's report claims that the SRM could offer the possibility of significantly cooling the planet within a few years. Scientists holding differing views on the potential benefits of the risky plan, with some expressing concern about the catastrophic changes to the Earth's atmosphere. Others argue that it could serve as a last resort if fears about the climate change materialize in coming decades. Shuki Talati, the executive director of Alliance's Just Deliberation of Solar Geoengineering, highlighted the significance of the report's existence. The fact that this report even exists is probably the most consequential component of this release. Other experts, meanwhile, argue that reports of the climate crisis are a hoax designed to stoke fear in the public in an effort to raise taxes. Really kind of seems that way, doesn't it? How much of this is left? Not much. Not much to go. As Slate News previously reported, renowned environmentalist Dr. Patrick Moore and co-founder of Greenpeace is warning the public that the anti-carbon dioxide narrative is a scam. Moore, an ecologist and environmental activist for more than 50 years, argues that increased levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is beneficial. According to Moore, claims of the climate change is human-caused are propaganda, which he described as dangerous. It depends on who you talk to on which way you want to actually read that particular sentence, and if you want to actually believe that anything that they're saying is actually true. It really seriously, both sides can say the same exact thing about the other to make it and spin it like that's exactly what it is. We kind of see through everybody's bullshit, and I don't believe it. The comments from Moore, the leading expert in environmentalism, directly conflict with the green agenda being pushed by Biden's administration, the global groups such as the United Nations and the World Economic Forum. Moore says environmentalism has been hijacked and the movement has abandoned science and logic in favor of emotion and sensationalism. When Greenpeace began, we had a strong humanitarian orientation to save civilization and the destruction by all-out nuclear war. Over the years, the peace or Greenpeace was gradually lost in my organization, along with much of the environmental movement, drifted into a belief that humans are the enemies of the earth. Yes. Humans are the enemies of the earth. They will always be the enemies of the earth. There's nothing you can do about it. We're the ones that are destroying the climate, destroying this planet. We must believe all that they say. If we don't, things might not go well. If you don't believe that the World Economic Forum and the United Nations has actually been working together for a while, I've got something else for you. I would almost bet that they have a lot to do with each other. It seems like all those millionaires and billionaires like to hang out with each other. Isn't that right, Bill Gates? So here, let's get everybody a good laugh. We'll give everybody a good laugh. This is great. This is so good. So this guy, Mr. Lindsey Graham, you know who that is? American shirts. American shirts. You know who Lindsey Graham is? I can't get American shirts to sit his butt down into a show with me. Just get up, move around, walk away.
Gentlemen, please welcome United States Senator Lindsey Graham.
The whole audience is booing. The whole audience, every single last one of them, is booing for Lindsey Graham. These people don't like Lindsey Graham. They really don't. And you know, and that's the hard part. Is I just just want everybody to actually take all that in for a few seconds, and it was bring them up on the stage.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a bunch.
This is fantastic.
It just gets booed to high hell. Seriously, for pretty much the whole time that he's up there, he gets booed.
Believe.
This whole time that he's up there, he gets booed. It's ridiculous. I can't really show the whole clip as much as I'd really like to show the whole clip. I know exactly what would happen because it's a Trump rally, and the second that I played anything of any kind of consistency that coming from it, you're actually gonna hear it. But that much booing, you don't just get
glorious.
You don't just get booed like that for no reason. I think everybody knows Lindsey Graham is a steaming pile of shit.
Well, I mean, you can smell it. I mean, it's kind of. I mean, everybody gets a whiff, and everybody just knows. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh boy, don't go that way. Sorry, I was. I'm trying to set. I don't know. Can anybody hear anything in the background here?
We can hear you. I hear you loud and clear.
Because I'm trying to set it. My room is hot as crap, and I'm trying to freaking stop myself from drenching another t-shirt of mine.
Disgusting.
Anyway.
Can I move on here a little bit? A suspect detonates a series of explosive devices in Washington, D.C., still on the loose. This is actually something from today. This is new information. So this is a series of explosive devices, Molotov cocktail style objective. object detonated outside at 3 Northeast Washington, D.C. businesses early Sunday morning, causing no deaths or injuries, but leaving the city on edge, where was some damage to the buildings and a broken window and debris. The suspect has not been caught as this writing, and the police are asking for assistance. Police in Washington, D.C. are seeking public's help locating the suspects behind the attacks against a bank, a retail outlet, a grocery store damaged with explosive devices within 15 minutes early Sunday morning. 3 stores in Northeast D.C. reported damage according to the statement. How much you want to bet this actually goes to the point where they're actually going to go ahead and put up walls again, safety barricades to protect everybody in Congress from outside attacks. This something like this could be enough for them to actually release such a thing and
Oh, they
say,
want to
well,
do all kinds of chicanery for the upcoming elections. So, it wouldn't surprise me if this was like a test run of some kind.
oh yeah, absolutely. So he says approximately 4:30, the suspect detonated an explosive device on the sidewalk outside an ATM of the Trust Bank located at 2300 block of Washington Place. Northeast then fled the scene in a vehicle. The explosive device caused damage to the location. At approximately 4:36, 6 minutes later, the suspect detonated an explosive device on the sidewalk in front of the doors of the Nike store located at 700 block of H Street Northeast, then fled the scene in a vehicle. An explosive device caused damage to the location. At approximately 4:45, so another 9 minutes later, the suspect threw a Molotov cocktail-style object in the Safeway store located at 300 block of 40th Street. It sounds like he's Grand Theft Autoing around Washington, D.C., and having fun at, doing such a thing. Throwing Molotov cocktails into locations, convenience stores, because I hate this place. It's the worst convenience store in town. It's always dirty. It's always whatever, for any reason whatsoever. You just had some kind of vendetta against the building. So then is basically it's gonna repeat itself. But oh no, not in DC, not just before election time. You got to be kidding me. No. More to come. More to come. Pay attention.
Indeed.
You want to read one? Send you an article. You can read it.
I mean, I don't care. I guess whatever.
All right, here you go. We'll give you one.
Salon. You give me salon. God. What the freaking crap? This is interesting.
Do you like that? Is that something that you think we should cover?
This is about Flint, Michigan? Region known as Cancer Alley.
Skip.
I mean, I don't really know enough about this myself. Like the whole, I mean, it says the EPA was on the cusp of cleaning up Cancer Alley, then backed down. I'm not entirely sure the whole background of this, and I don't really trust Salon to tell me anything truthful.
Okay, now listen to me. Dump that one and pick up the next one.
Oh dear God.
We're giving shirts some work tonight.
Oh, and of course, right on the freaking, see, this is appropriate here. See, this is appropriate, right? Right on the front page, biology professor says he was fired for teaching sex is determined by chromosomes. And then right there is Ron DeSantis beneath it. It's perfect. It's a perfect advertisement, perfectly placed. Right there.
Oh, you got stupid ads. I forgot. My screen doesn't show that.
Yeah, well, lucky you. You don't have to look at DeSantis. Oh, by the way, that's another thing. I mean, I could go on about DeSantis. Like, there was something with the GOP of Iowa wrote him a cease and desist. And it had something to do with the fact that he has been using his campaign funds to literally bus people around the country everywhere he goes. So it looks like he actually has a crowd of people when he literally has literally no one. Like, it's so bad. Like the DeSantis, like there are several things about DeSantis I could go into, but this has been coming to light. But we shan't do that for now. I was just reminded of that because of that advertisement that was there. But again, biology professor says he was fired for teaching sex is determined by chromosomes. Well, hey, listen, Bill Nye the Science Guy doesn't even acknowledge that anymore, dude. Like, what the heck? Like, get up with the times. The science guy dude from TV says that it's not real anymore, even though he said it was real earlier. Now it's not. You have to go along with Bill Nye, the not so science but very much fascist guy. So anyway, a biology professor at St. Philip's College in San Antonio, Texas, claimed that he was fired after he taught a lesson explaining that sex and Y chromosomes. The Professor Johnson Varkey, I don't know how you say that, claimed that he was let go from the college for religious preaching. What? In his class. Over the course of 20 years, Varkey taught human anatomy and physiology to more than 1,500 students, according to the New York Post. During a lesson on the human reproductive system on November 28th, 2022, Varkey made remarks about how XY chromosomes determine the person's sex. 4 students reportedly walked out of his class as a result of these remarks. Oh, God. In January, Varkey received a notice of discipline and termination of employment and a contract letter stating that the school, quote, received numerous complaints about his alleged, quote, religious preaching, discriminatory comments about homosexuals and transgender individuals, anti-abortion rhetoric, and misogynistic banter, the institute added, noting that Varkey has, quote, a sincerely held belief that God created humankind, male and female. Oh my God! Well, of course you have to fire someone like that. I mean, we can't let that go on. Oh, and by the way, it's like religious preaching. This is St. Philip's College. That doesn't exactly sound like a enormously secular school to me. You know what I'm saying?
Jay-Z says, Koolfrogg has a better reading voice. No offense. And says, ow, my ears. It says, Koolfrogg, will you read again? I'm going to let him finish the article.
Excuse you. Gee.
I'm going to let him finish the article. Give him another.
2 decades of teaching the basic unremarkable concepts, no other students complained. The First Liberty Institute, a conservative law firm, said in a press release. First Liberty Institute noted that Varkey's firing violates the First Amendment in the U.S. Constitution. Yeah. The Texas Religious Freedom Restoration Act and Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, quote, What St. Philip's College did is wrong, and Dr. Varkey should get his job back. Public universities have no business firing professors for teaching actual science. See, this is where we're at, people. Like, I mean, you literally have to teach science class. You have to say all the woke-tarded nonsense as actual science, even though you're not going to be teaching anybody to help anyone else in any sort of medical field. So see, these students are being trained in like anatomy, and he's a doctor, so he's teaching them different things about the human body. This is going to be stuff to do with health and all the rest of it. Do you think these people are going to actually know how to help you if they literally cannot determine the difference between male and female? Like these people are gonna freaking kill you. Like these, like they're not gonna do anything helpful at all. These up and coming students.
Right.
It's harmful to academic freedom. It's also harmful to religious liberty, as the college is sending a message that people of faith are not welcome and need not apply. Yeah, that's exactly. So much for St. Philip. Like, oh well, screw that. Like, whatever happened to that? Like, I don't know.
To an experiment that sent 1 million trans women and 1 million trans men to an island for a year. But yeah, there's 2,000,001 at the end of the 5 years. Maybe. At least one, right? To keep you in the same mindset, here you go. Louisiana governor vetoes bill meant to shield children from transgender procedures. Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards, a Democrat, has vetoed a bill that was meant to protect children from gender change surgeries and other procedures like giving kids cross-sex hormones. House Bill 648, known as the Stop Harming Our Kids Act, was passed by the Republican-controlled state legislature along party lines in early June. The bill is sought to prohibit hormone treatments for minors, as well as puberty-blocking drugs and gender reassignment surgery, such as giving girls an identity as boys, double vasectomies, which critics have decried as a form of mutilation. If HB 648 doesn't become a law, we will be sending a horrible message to our children, Louisiana State Senator Jeremy Steen, a Republican, wrote on Twitter after the bill's passage, and as questions swirled around whether it would receive a veto. This isn't complicated. Our kids deserve to know that they're loved, valued, and perfect just as God created them. I think that's the biggest right there. That whole blurb right there. It isn't complicated. It's not as complicated as people seem to actually make it think or want to actually make it think. It's really not.
Let's keep kids normal and not try and fry their brains and destroy their minds. Like, how about we just like keep normal development of children, like people have done forever and a day. The complicated thing is to add in all of this insanity. The easy thing is to just go with nature. But see, they want you to degrade your nature as male and female. They want you to grade against and scratch against it and grade against it. Like grading against a chalkboard or something, right? Like that sound of like they just want you to grade against your very nature. And they want that for all these kids. Also, the whole perversion thing and, normalizing all of this horrific, sexually immoral stuff in society and all the rest of it. I actually talked a little bit about this in my latest Rumble video that I just posted here today. Kind of relating to some recent topics of child trafficking stuff that I've been mentioning a thing or two ago because there's a movie about it. But
I
anyways,
believe I do have something to go along with that in particular. Some other things that are similar to it at the very end of the show here too. Like I do. So Steen's fear that the bill would be nixed before it entered into the force became a reality on June 29th when the Louisiana governor said that the letter that he had vetoed it. Somehow had held out hopes that Edwards wouldn't veto HB 648 because of the prior legislative session. He decided not to block law banning transgender identifying athletes from taking part in women's and girls' sports competitions. He decided not to block a law banning. So he did ban transgender sports. Men do not get to join women. And I'm in agreement on that. I really am. It really, to me, seems like something that shouldn't be. If you feel the opposite, that you have the all right to do that.
I mean, you'd
But
be wrong, but you have the right to do that.
right, everybody has the right to be wrong. However, Edwards' 6-page veto letter made clear his opposition to the Stop Harming Our Kids Act, which he said ironic because he claimed that is precisely what it does. Right for a veto, Edwards' letter is addressed to Clay Shexnader. He's got a Shexnader. Clay Shexnader, the Republican Speaker for the Louisiana House of Representatives. As Edwards said, the bill threatens specialist professional license removes parental rights in healthcare decisions for children in gender dysphoria and generally amounts to a targeted assault on kids suffering psychologically from gender crises. The bill denies healthcare to a very small, unique, and vulnerable group of children. It forces children currently stabilized in medication to treat a legitimate healthcare diagnosis to stop taking it. Edwards said that there was no evidence of any gender change surgeries being performed in Louisiana between 2017 and 2021, and urged that supporters of the bill suggested it was necessary to stop physicians from mutilating our children by performing gruesome sex change surgeries. This is simply not happening in Louisiana, he said, arguing that the bill sought to address a non-existent problem in sex reassignment surgeries in the state while in actual fact blocking access to necessary medications and other less invasive medical interventions for children suffering from gender dysphoria. Children are not suffering from gender dysphoria. I'm sorry. Everybody goes through a little phase here and there where they feel that they may not be adequate or put to the levels that society makes them feel that they need to be. They will be fine. Leave them alone. Let them go back to doing what they are doing and to let them be children with an imagination. Can even agree with the prohibition in this bill. Edwards said the bill's provision to ban transgender surgeries while adding that, unfortunately, that is not the intent of the bill, and it seemed to include a more dramatic effect of overshadowing and medically appropriate use of puberty blockers and hormone replacements. Edwards also objected to the number of other structural defects in the bill that made it ripe for a veto, including insufficient clarity about the specific types of medical intervention would be subject to penalties and revocation of a license. With Edwards' veto, the current regulations in Louisiana and transgender procedures for children remain unchanged. Specifically, they require that anyone under 18 is required to obtain parental consent before they can access hormone therapies, puberty blockers, and other treatments of gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria is generally defined as a distress over gender identity that doesn't match a person's biological sex. I'm not reading the last section of that. I'm not doing it. I'm not going through it. I can't do it anymore. I just can't. You talk about so much mental incapacity. It really starts to deplete your own mental capacity and makes you actually feel that you're not doing anything good. As I'm talking about that, I'm kind of skimming through this last part real quick to see what was left in there. Europe is moving towards freedom while we're headed towards more socialism and totalitarianism, according to this particular person. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I can see this. Yeah, our country really is kind of moving towards the totalitarianism. It really seems to be so far out, and there's nothing we can do to actually bring it back. The United States is becoming more of an outlier every day. Every country that has taken a serious look at the evidence has concluded the medical transition of children is experimental, and the evidence doesn't support doing it. Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't really see where the evidence actually would be to point at any type of such a thing for children
Are you
would
sharing
be
an article, by the way?
necessary. What's that?
Are you reading off of an article, by the way?
It was just that last couple paragraphs off the end of that
Oh.
last article. I just kind of went through it real quick just to see if there's anything. I'm like, oh, there's a couple comments that you kind of add to it. It is what it is, right? So
I
still
mean,
kind of
should be.
still kind of political. It's kind of newsy, kind of political, kind of something on the cusp in between. Another busload of illegal aliens arrive in Newsom's home state.
Oh, of course.
Ooh, another one, huh? So this is busloads of illegal aliens arrived in Democrat-run city of Los Angeles over the weekend as Biden border crisis continues to plague the country. According to the report, about 40 migrants, including 11 children, were bused from Texas immigration facilities following the arrival of undocumented immigrants. The liberal city's government is unaware of the shipment of illegal migrants from the South and Central America, was unaware. Los Angeles Democrat Mayor Karen Bass accused Abbott of using human beings as pawns in his cheap political games. Los Angeles is not a city motivated by hate or fear. We are absolutely not persuaded or moved by petty politicians playing with humans' lives.
This is really rich coming from the party of open borders that accommodates the trafficking of human beings,
Right. They
and
don't
mostly
want these
children.
people in their own
So,
cities.
yeah. And I mean the drugs and the cartels and all the rest of it. I mean it's all they're all mixed together, and it's all sort of it's a whole thing. It's a whole shebang, and they do all this stuff across our border. They do all these different things. So it's really rich coming from an individual. Oh, Republicans want to play with human lives. Really?
Hello, Heidi. I'm gonna wait for the rest of that statement to come through before we actually go ahead and hit that your question up there. So it says Governor Greg Abbott launched migrant busing programs in 2022 to combat President's open border policy's devastating effects in the U.S., which has brought deadly drugs such as fentanyl and human trafficking into the nation.
Okay, hold on right here. They said that he implemented this as a result of, obviously as a result of, but to stop. So Greg Abbott's response to the open border is to just simply bus people further inland to all kinds of other places. And that's going to curb and stop? I mean, really? I mean, has that done anything? Because all that's done is encourage even more. And now we see from that giant wave of like, what was it, over 10 million people? Almost half, if not, if like 50 to 60% of them all stayed within the borders of the state of Texas. So a lot of good that does. How are you going to get all those people out of there? But like, okay, let's not patrol the border. Let's not put the National Guard there to
We're not
stop
worried
it.
about those people. We're only
No. The
worried
National
about
Guard helped them
these
across.
30 people that were bused into Los Angeles. We don't care about all of the migrants that are coming across the border. Just certain ones. Just certain ones that are being shipped into Newsom's, city of Los Angeles. That's all they care
And
about.
see, this is the same thing with freaking DeSantis, with the whole like sending them to Nantucket and Massachusetts and like, Martha's Vineyard, da da da. And like he sends them up there and they get kicked right out, and oh, it's a big scene. And it's like, okay, great, you can make a statement, but see, he wanted you to focus on that. Meantime, in Florida, they have a green card problem like mad. They've got immigration problems like mad there as well. It's not a pretty sight there in Florida as far as immigration is concerned. And the same you could say again with Texas. And these are two Republican governors, and they are allowing all of this to happen under their watch. In the meantime, though, it's like, oh, see, this is my solution. I sent like 30, 40, 50 people or 100 people on buses or whatever and sent them off to some libtarded city. Like, yeah, they don't really care. You're just trying to get like some social media stir for yourself. So like, oh yeah, I'm doing something. I'm totally based and hip. No, you're not. You're full of crap. You're not doing anything. Carrie Lake rightfully pointed all this out. She said like
Here's
she
a
was
couple
gonna
things for you
run
real
for the
quick. Looks
governor
like
of Arizona.
Heidi's on a little few minutes behind or whatever. So by the time she gets here, whatever, she'll be able to actually catch this. So this is American Shirts and Koolfrogg. While I agree, I've seen Graham booed as long as he was. Saw the whole thing earlier. Why the heck is Trump dragging him around with him like they're buddies? Question number 2. There's also a video of Trump talking to Klaus Schwab. Can't spell Klaus. Commending Trump and Trump telling Klaus that what a great job he was doing. It's very disturbing. That the video, we're going to answer this backwards. The video of him actually being commended by Klaus Schwab was before he was even thought of even doing such a thing. That's an old video. Now I get what you're saying. It's kind of disturbing to actually see such a thing. It was before they actually understood that he was against what they were actually laying down, but invited in the first place because that's where millionaires and billionaires go, is to do that kind of stuff.
Well, even like when Trump was president, he went there, and like, I mean, Trump kind of likes to do that sort of flattery thing of like, try to get like flatter someone personally or whatever, and then like, make the deal or like broker the whatever. Like that's just his nature. This is what he does all the time. So he goes there and he's like, "Oh, Klaus, just so wonderful. You did such a great job. But like, hey, we're not going to do all this globalist stuff." Like he made a whole speech there about that too. So it's kind of out of context. Not to say that you're purposefully saying that. I'm just saying that there is more
Right.
context. But
there is a little bit more context to it when you actually listen to full statements as opposed to just snippets and clippets of statements.
it's just like his thing with like Xi Jinping, right? He's like, "Oh, me and Xi, we're very good friends. Oh, we're such good friends, whatever." And then every single policy that he has is like cracking down on China like mad. It's like, but like, "Oh, Xi, we have such a great relationship." Right? Like that's his style. It's like, like to try to get to them personally and like flatter them or be like, "Oh, you're so wonderful," or "Oh, let's have a good relationship together. It'll be fun." And then he goes off and does what he's going to do anyways, and it's like, oh well, like, I mean, you don't want to break a beautiful friendship now, do you? Like, like like
Right.
that's the way he tries to do all this kind of stuff. He does. That's his sort of foreign policy type of deal, is for him to go to a foreign country or to go to like these groups or organizations, whatever, like WEF, and either make some kind of a deal, or maybe you not end up doing that, you know. But like, it's he tries to reach out to people personally. It's like Kim Jong-un. It's not like, I mean, he's like, oh, the love letters with Kim Jong-un, oh my god, it's the love letters. It's not like they were actually in love, and it's not like Kim Jong-un was ever gonna, you know, fully stop. But Trump was just trying to, you know, like, be friendly, be nice, you know, hey, let's do this together. It'd be fun if we, like, you know, if you did this, or how about this with your country, whatever, like, hey, let's do, like, I mean, that's just how he does it. And he approaches them, the leaders, which is actually what you should do, in my opinion. Like, you know, approach them personally, and like talk to them personally, and then, you know, the policy thing comes next. And then that way it's like, well, I know him, I know what he's, you know, where he stands on this. He's just not some wacko that's just all over off across the ocean, whatever. Like, you know, yeah, he's, you know, I actually know him now, he's actually been nice, so maybe we won't go, you know, with the whole Rocket Man deal, you know. Like,
Right.
like, I mean, we might not have a full-blown agreement with everything, but, you know, maybe we won't go full-blown Rocket Man. You know,
Maybe not.
like,
So then, you know, there was a second question on there. So then the first one, which was actually the first question, is why the heck is Trump dragging him around?
strategy.
Maybe. I really don't see it as he was dragging him around. I think that he kind of knew it was going to happen. I think he assumed. He assumed, and he's seen the victim. And he said, "We just drag him out here, put him out on stage, and let the crowd boo him, so they can see him as the rhino that he really is." Because he got booed that whole 2.5 minutes. Is ridiculous. I'm not surprised in what I saw. And just a clip. How long ago was the full context one from? And any idea where I can find it? The whole clip of him being booed? That was from his speech yesterday, Trump's speech yesterday. You can go almost anywhere, probably go RSBN, and you could actually find the whole speech, the whole Trump thing, as well as these would have been people that would have actually stepped up on stage before Trump came out and actually gave a little speech. So he would have been one of those in that group at the very, very beginning, before Trump's thing happened. So you might have to actually watch.
Well, yeah, she says no, the Klaus Schwab thing. That was a whole World Economic Forum meeting. So that was like days of different things.
That was a long
and
time
so,
ago, too.
well, yeah, that was quite a long time ago. And of course, Trump did not go back after that initial run-in. But you know, he went up there and said a lot of very anti-globalist and anti-WEF things, quite a lot, and directly went right there and directly addressed them and what they believe about things, and how he's not in favor of that. So, you know. But that's like, you know, days worth of different things. But there are clips of, you know, the Trump's like there was like one big speech where he like lays it all out, where he was at the World Economic Forum, and he just lays the whole lays it all out on him, if you will. And that should be, I don't know exactly where that would be located at. You could probably find it, I don't know, Rumble, BitChute, if you can't find it on YouTube because YouTube's crap. But, you know, as far as like keeping logs of, you know, political history anyway. But, you know, I mean, like if you look up anything like Nancy Pelosi drunk at the podium, there's a gazillion things on YouTube where it's just like Nancy Pelosi is the best thing ever. And it's like 10 pages worth of how great Nancy Pelosi is. And you will never find anything about Nancy Pelosi being drunk at the podium because she's drunk all of the time, but they won't tell you. So, you know, you may have to go someplace else if you can't find it on YouTube. But it's like Trump's speech to the Forum there. But anywho's, that was a pretty big sidetrack there.
Which is fine. So then we can kind of change gears back for a second to Heidi says, okay, thanks. This issue of migrants, or maybe we can just kind of move on to the next story. I think we do that. We'll do that because I think we all kind of understand our stance on the migrants and using them as, as any type of barter system or payment is wrong. Shipping them to a place where they didn't ask to go is wrong. Allowing them to even just come across the border in the first place, it's still wrong. There's a lot of things that are just wrong when it comes down to
Right, and Carrie Lake specifically addressed that too, like when she was running for the governorship, right? And the whole thing with DeSantis shipping people up there, and then Abbott shipping people to DC or whatever. And she's just like, okay, listen, that's it's nice for a show or whatever, but like, what are they doing to curb the illegal immigration going on into their states? Like, how are they doing that? Where's the policy? Where's the National Guard people that he keeps claiming that he's going to do? Even back then, he kept claiming he's going to do this, and nothing's ever been done. And so Carrie Lake, running for the governor of Arizona, is saying, hey, like, we're going to freaking declare a state of emergency, and we're going to do something about the border crossings, and we're not going to be just shipping people around everywhere, for political statements or whatever. Like, no, like, we're going to be actually dealing with the issue. So, it just seems like a lot of, lights, camera, action type stuff rather than actually dealing with the problem.
Yes. It does seem that way.
Which it's funny to see them get kicked out of, Martha's Vineyard and all the rest of that. Like, oh wow, they just like freaking threw them out within like 2 hours or whatever. But and it makes a point. Okay, maybe, but I mean, like, it's not. We should be more focused on actually solving all of these problems than constantly making statements so you can get a viral Twitter video going and then go like, oh yeah, see, look at that, folks, I'm DeSantis, I'm going to run for president. Like, I mean, it's just kind of, it's kind of like, maybe somebody or like a group of people was trying to groom him for that position anyway, to try to like take out Trump in the primary.
It could be something
stupid, but anyway,
right? So, I spend a day doing other things other than just looking for news articles for a show.
You do?
Yes.
Oh. Well,
yes.
I wasn't aware of
other
that.
things, other life stuff that happens, whatever. So,
lily pad to lily pad.
Through articles,
eating all of the flies and insects.
I read through a lot, and I select things. I choose things because of some of the stuff that's in the article. Sometimes it's not just the headline that's the catcher on it. Sometimes what has actually happened can be just as disturbing as any. So, most would actually look at this article and be like, illegal alien has convictions for abusing two kids, has them overturned. It doesn't sound so. It sounds disturbing, in itself that he actually was, doing something to these kids. But that's not even the worst about any of this, about what has actually happened, because he's not going to be actually held or kept for any of the crime that he's actually committed. So is this an illegal alien convicted of child sex crimes has those convictions overturned by the Kansas judge after state prosecutors apparently filed the wrong charges against him.
Oh, I'm sure that was on a complete accident. I'm sure it was completely accidental. I mean, when do you ever hear of a lawyer like, whoops, That
we
was the wrong charge.
gave you the wrong charges of 2 counts of criminal sodomy and 2 counts of aggravated indecent liberties with a child. But when it comes down to it, we gave you the wrong ones. So because we gave you the wrong ones, you're now free to go. What? No, I don't think so. Get up against the wall. According to prosecutors at the time, Arita sexually abused a 7-year-old boy and his 8-year-old sister on multiple occasions while the children stayed at his residence. About 3 years later, Arita was convicted of all 4 charges initially filed against him. The charges against Arita in the Kansas Court of Appeals ruled late last month were incorrect because prosecutors presented evidence that Arita had personally sexually abused his victims, but all 4 counts in the charging documents alleged that he had caused his victims to be abused by another person. As a result, the appellate court overturned all of Arita's convictions, and his sentence was vacated because the state presented insufficient evidence, actually no evidence, to support Arita's convictions, and he cannot be retried for crimes involving the 2 children who said they were sexually abused. Arita is set to be deported from the United States rather than being released back into the community from prison, the Wyandotte County District Attorney's Office told local media.
And I'll be right back where he was.
So, I mean,
Open borders and all,
I
right?
get that he's being deported. Right, exactly. That's where I was going to go with it. I get that he's being deported. I get that they're like, oh, okay, it's all good. He's going to be removed. He will no longer be part of the United States. With the open borders that we actually have, he's going to actually be able to come right back into this country the second he finds his way, back to and around South America, and he can walk himself back up, through. Just walk nonchalantly right across the border. Nobody's going to question him. Nobody's going to think about it. Nobody's going to be like, "Oh, look, wait, we should actually look at the one guy and remember what he actually did to these children and got away with." Got away with because of wording, the way things were actually put on paper, stating what this guy actually did was written wrong. I was saying, oh, great, he's out and about. Yep, there he is, out and about. What have we got here? Heidi says, also wanted to mention that except for his mentioning possible future gun regulations and who he'd consult if we have another pandemic, RFK Jr. gave an excellent talk at a New Hampshire town hall where he addressed the vile crap happening with SA at the border.
SA was a sexual assault? Is it?
No essay. Oh, not that one either.
I have no clue. But, yeah, I heard he did a very good job with that interview. I saw several interviews he's been doing, and he's said a lot of good things. So, very impressed.
Yeah, no, you're good with. We figured out what essay was. Can you write my essay? No, write your own essay. Essay. Her. All right. Next one. You ready? 30 shot in block party Sunday in gun controlled Baltimore. Sunday. What day is today? Oh. Technically still Sunday for some, right? Yeah, thank you for the interaction, American Shirts. 30 people were shot, 2 of them fatally, in the block party in the gun-controlled Baltimore, Maryland, Sunday just after 12:30 a.m. The Associated Press reports that 18-year-old woman and a 20-year-old man were killed in the incident. The Daily Mail noted 3 of the wounded were in critical condition. The tow truck operator removes a vehicle from multiple bullet holes near the area of the mass shooting incident in the Southern District of Baltimore. There are hundreds of people at a party. Then shots rang out, and Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott seemed to indicate more than one person was behind the shooting. But what we do know is that this is recklessly cowardly act that happened here, and this has permanently altered many lives and cost 2 people their lives. And I want those responsible to hear me, and hear me very clearly. We will not stop until we find you, and we will find you. Oh, they're going to find them, no matter what they do. Good for them. Good for them. They're going to find these 2 particular people that just so happen to come out. Gabby Gifford's gun control group pointed out Maryland has a red flag law. Universal background checks. And high capacity magazine ban. Strict regulations on ghost guns and assault weapons. The licensing requirement of handgun purchases, among other controls. So point is, do you think that any of these red tape laws, any of these particular bans on any kind of assault weapon, did you see the air quotes? I made sure that I put them up there nice and high for you. You can actually see them. Big, huge air quotes around that. It's so ridiculous. Obviously, we just don't know. We don't care. We're ignorant to the point. Criminals will still always do what they need to do. Yeah, it is heartbreaking, Valerie. It really is. It really is heartbreaking, and it's disturbing. It's disturbing to actually believe that red tape laws are going to actually save lives. Sorry, guns don't discharge themselves. It's the ignorant person behind it. Are you with me? America Shirts. Something's going on with America Shirts. He doesn't like to sit still, apparently. As little as we can say about particular instances of iconic bodybuilders suddenly, being found deceased at young ages. This is YouTube bodybuilding star Joe Aesthetics passed Saturday at age 30, reportedly from an aneurysm after expressing fears of having a heart attack just weeks earlier, according to the Daily Mail. Joe is famous for his fitness videos and social media, training excessively to maintain a strong physique, 943,000 YouTube subscribers, and over 8 million Instagram followers. The German influencer claimed to have a rare muscular condition resulting in his concern of suffering cardiovascular problems from overtraining. He said he had rippling muscle disease in an interview of Bradley Martin's Raw Talk, explaining the disease makes his muscles excessively sensitive to movement or pressure. I wonder where he thinks he got this issue from. When it's in my arms and this is just happening too fast. 3 days ago, he kept saying that the pain in his neck, and we not really realize until it's too late. Linda planned to go to the gym with Noel Diesel, the following bodybuilding friend, before he passed unexpectedly. I'm broken, bro. You opened my arms up to us. You showed us so much about life and social media. Your generosity toward myself and others will forever stay with me. You made one huge impact in the world, bro, and you will never be forgotten. So, when it comes down to it, obviously, people are very sad and disturbed, of a loss at such a young age. And you can see Andreas Frey also passed at the age of 43. So it's this very young.
I'm sure it was too much climate change.
Yeah, climate change. Yeah,
that was what it was. It was just a little bit too much climate change. Couldn't handle it, I guess. I don't know. It couldn't be anything that was put out to the public at mass. That just couldn't be, because because we've never heard of anything else like this happening to people of his of his age and other similar characteristics and such. It's just totally unheard of nowadays. Now, there was nothing that was put out at all. It's just we just don't know. It just must be that climate change. We got to spray the skies down with Bill Gates's chemical mask for the sun. Got to do it, folks. Or else climate change is going to get to everybody, right?
Yes, climate change. Climate change got to this guy too. Just kidding. No, this guy, a straight up hero. It's so few that are around still in this world. Hero dad was fishing with son when he drowned, saving 2 kids in a Pennsylvania creek. So he saved a couple other lives. The hero in himself drowns himself. So this is a hero dad who drowned, saving 2 kids, was fishing with his young son when he sprang into action, even though he couldn't swim. Marvin Alexin Fernandez Chiquez was spending the day with a 3-year-old son, Dylan, and a few friends in the lake, Nuckamixon, and he drowned in the lake, giving his life for 2 children. Struggling in the water, the man's family wrote in a GoFundMe post. The 2 children were rescued, but the 37-year-old dad disappeared into the water and died Thursday evening. They apparently got in some trouble in the water. He went in to help them. Unfortunately, he can't swim, And that's pretty much what the story is going to be. Kind of sad and disturbing that the one that can't actually swim would be the one that would actually jump in the water to try saving somebody. Whereas those that, because there's somebody that do know how to swim and can swim, maybe ignorant to the point and just be like, I'm not jumping in there right now. How many other people were around? There has to be some reason why this man felt it was necessary to dive in for these children. Kind of a heroic act in itself to actually be able to do such a thing. How he got them and still actually drowned himself. It's kind of an odd, strange thought. Kind of eerie.
It's kind of an odd, I don't know. It seems like a very, I don't know. It seems like an odd story. So, like the more you were reading through, and then like I was looking at some of the other paragraphs there, and I was like, this is kind of, I don't know. I hate to keep looking at things through like some sort of nefarious lens or like some sort of like there's some sort of alternative thing going on here, but like I just don't know myself, but you know.
So it's kind of an odd occurrence. We're getting to the end of the show here. Kind of an odd occurrence.
Break too. He kind of froze immediately.
It is like he calls the timeout. Immediately calls a timeout because there's something going on in the backfield. I get to him first. I'm going to run really fast. I'm going to be the third one. I'm going to be there. Looks like he gets to get walked through the building and probably escorted off out and from never able to ever join in any reindeer games ever again. Ha ha ha. Done. But I found it interesting how people fall from 12-foot walls. To become famous. They're now famous. Did you know that? They're famous.
I did not know that.
Yep, I just made them famous.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I just made them famous. All right, so one last thing. We can sit around and we can wait for a couple of ladies to come join us if they're going to do at all whatsoever. I got comments back from both of them. One says that she's still at work and would come in afterward. I don't know what that means. I have no clue how long that would even be. The other doesn't seem to. I don't know if she doesn't want to. She just doesn't, I don't know. Either way. I really don't know. Last article. Billboards pop up all over the United States with 3 words that'll cause outrage. This kind of goes
at the top there. Is there a picture at the top? Like,
no.
Oh well, what the crap? Show a picture.
The same thing because they don't want to cause the outrage. The same 3 phrases are appearing in numerous billboards around the nation with a direct message that is sure to cause ruckus among a percentage of people in the country. The unpopular comment may infuriate Democrats, leftists, and secular atheists in equal measure, especially in the midst of such evil that's running rampant right now and destroying America from within. At a time when hope seems all but lost and there's an incredible amount of uncertainty about what the future holds, With an unstable government at the helm, these billboards serve as a reminder that Jesus Christ Himself, who is in control, is the ultimate universal authority. Simply but deeply profound, the signs say Christ is Lord. Christian publisher Canon Press purchased and paid for the advertisements as part of the pre-sale promotion for well-known Moscow, Idaho preacher Douglas Wilson's new book, Mir Christentum. Moscow, Idaho, Spokane, Washington, New York, Porto Alger, Brazil, Nashville, Tennessee, Taylor, Texas, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Greenville, South Carolina, and Houston, Texas are just a few of the cities where the advertisements have already appeared or will soon do so. Canon promises to pay and provide Christ is Lord billboards in any zip code where 20 boxes of deluxe edition of the book are ordered according to the official website christislord.com. It's christislord.com. This is just an article. If you go and you decide to actually do such a thing and actually cause billboards to spring up in your area that Christ is Lord, it's could actually be something of interest to many when they actually realize why these actually happened in their area was because there's somebody that cared enough to actually purchase these books. Now, if I had the money to do it, I might actually think of actually doing such a thing, purchasing so many of them, and then going around town and actually putting, the 19 other copies. So keep one for myself, obviously. But taking 19 other copies and putting them in the little give one, take one libraries that are around town. They're all so much fun. When a foreign army has surrounded their enemy, they paper the town to announce their victory and call for total surrender. The website reads, "This is our campaign with Mir Christendom. We're not campaigning for the election of Jesus. He's already on the throne. We want to help you notify your town and local leaders." I think it's kind of fun. Oh, there's one. There you go.
Oh, okay. There's a picture.
There's one. So you actually get to see what they're actually trying to do, what they're actually attempting to put out, and simply by spending a few dollars, whatever, purchasing these particular book. Again, what was that website? christislord.com. christislord.com to actually purchase the book or whatever, and actually go ahead and do something of interest to you potentially. Did you have any announcement that you'd like to give before we leave here today?
Well, I have a Rumble video and a half up on my Rumble page, America Shirts, capital A, capital S, all together, one word. Search it, you shall find it. It is over there on the Rumble, and it is about it is a little bit of that in depth. I was talking about this.
For those of you that have been around and actually joined our Discord, Koolfrogg's Discord, you actually go in there, you actually look at America Shirts. The stuff is actually posted in the Discord. Just saying, they are posted. There is a way to actually go and access those and watch the videos that he's speaking of easily.
I can actually put them in the chat here. Put the link to it. But yeah, I have those up. It's more in depth about the whole thing with the Sound of Freedom, the movie that's coming out, and the background of it, and the whole deal with the child trafficking stuff, all of that. So I've got that up there, and then I have a little like promotion from Jim Caviezel for the movie as well, also posted. And there is the link. You should totally go check that out. Also, just about the movie in general that I've been talking about. If we go here, well, if I go here, hold on a second, to the website Angel Studios for this movie that's coming out, again, The Sound of Freedom, talking about all of this stuff. It goes over the life, well, not the whole life, but the beginnings of his embarking on this mission to save the children. Tim Ballard's his name. The movie has over 1 million tickets now sold. So that's fantastic. The goal is 2 million for 2 million. And that's 2 million tickets for 2 million children that have been kidnapped and put into trafficking. So, and of course, there's most likely more than that, but that's just, it's a good number that people can reference and stuff. And, again, like how many exactly, we don't exactly know, but because of the nature of this crime, of this evil. But yeah, so thanks to all of you potentially here who have purchased tickets, going to go see that movie. I highly recommend you do so because it sends a statement to Hollywood and to all these people what you want to see, where your mind's at, what you want to be inspired by, what you want art to be, what you want what you want to put in front of your own eyes. You know, like who cares about like freaking again 85-year-old Indiana Jones falling on his face like Joe Biden every 10 seconds or something, like who wants to see that? Like, I mean, Tom Cruise, like, there's been a gazillion of these different movies. Like, who cares? Oh, it's another superhero film, whatever else. This guy's an actual real life superhero. Like he's a legit, well, not superhero. He's a legit hero, like in real life. Like he saves children from this evil. Like Tim Ballard's his name. This is what this whole thing's about. I mean, do you really want to go and like watch freaking the same superhero story over and over and the freak over again 80 million times? Like, here's something fresh and new if you're interested. I mean, and it has to do with real life. So, go there and like, again, support the movie, support the movement here, because it's going to push all this stuff of what this movie talks about with child trafficking and all the rest of it to the forefront of society. And it's going to have to start a discussion. And if we get this up to like big box office numbers, they're going to have to address it. And it's going to send a message to a lot of people that, yeah, there's everybody in this country, we're interested and we want to know what's going on with this and we want it to stop. And so, yeah, get involved and buy a ticket, go see it, buy it for other people. There's pay it forward here for those who can't afford it. But yeah, totally go and support this because this is kind of de facto, supporting,
Charlemagne says
stopping
so
child trafficking.
Heidi says, nice. Haven't signed up for Rumple, so I can't comment or like, but I watched a couple of shirts videos there. Also, the way RFK spoke as explicitly about the border assaults reminded me of this movie. Interesting.
Yeah,
Is it a documentary?
It's not a documentary.
Like it's not supposed to be. Like they're gonna actually play it out as a show, as a movie. To actually, so it's.
but it's all based in real life. Like this is all
Based on
like
true
it's not
stories.
it's right. It's not made up. This is all like this is the first mission that he did where he decides this Tim Ballard guy decides he's going to leave DHS because they told him get on a plane, come back home. We're not going to chase after these kids doing X, Y, and Z thing, whatever else.
So
And
no,
he says
this
no, and then he says,
Angel Productions. This is right. So
Angel Studios, yeah.
or Angel Studios, whatever when it comes down to, they're the ones that did The Chosen, which is a very wonderful TV series, or it was a series in itself about the life of Jesus Christ. A very interesting depiction on the way they did things. This is they've actually done some very good things. They're very talented. It doesn't look like it's B-level stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, this movie was made like it was completed, like fully completed, like 2.5 years ago at this point, and they stifled it. Hollywood stifled it. Hollywood said no. Hollywood was trying to put a can on this, and they eventually got it out from Hollywood and all that, and they moved it to Angel Studios finally, and they set up everything and they put it all together. And they said the way in which everything came together and how all this business went down, and like literal, business and getting it over to Angel Studios and them being able to put all this stuff forward. They said it should have that kind of talk and that kind of back and forth should have taken like 2 years again or more. And they said it was done within a week. Like this was really, really fantastic the way this was all done. So with Angel Studios. So yeah, I mean, throw it in the face of all these Hollywood, elites that don't want you to know about this, and don't want you to care about the children and even your children here. That is going to be under threat as well if this continues. So yeah, I mean, they don't want you to know about this. Go and support it and show, hey, we care. We want to know about this. Show Hollywood they were so wrong to try to tell you that you weren't allowed to look at this and see this. So, yeah, it's going to be great. Jim Caviezel's a great actor. There are several other great actors in this. It's supposed to be like an action thriller type of thing, but it is it's telling you the story of Tim Ballard as he starts off in this whole, trying to save children by, and he breaks away from the Department of Homeland Security to do that. And he's a real life hero and he still does this stuff to this day. And even while they were filming this, they were saving kids. I mean, it's fantastic. So yeah, I mean, and like I said, this is real life. This guy's like a freaking real life hero. I mean, who cares about all the rest of the nonsense action crap? Like this is stuff that actually happened in the real world. Like this is stuff that actually happens now. Like, and again, it presents his story and the whole thing, and it presents all of the stuff with child trafficking. It presents a lot of that, and it presents it to the public, presents it to you and other people. So like take family members and friends. It's like, oh, well, I don't know about all that, whatever. It presents it to them. It lets them know. It shows this to them, the reality of it and all of what goes on with it. Well, not everything, not all, but like a lot of it, a lot of what goes on with this and presents this to them. And this could be a whole societal movement at this point if we get this out to as many people as possible. So yeah, go buy tickets, angelstudios.com, and you pull up A Sound of Freedom, and all of this stuff should come up. Type in your zip code, and you can pull up the show times. And sometimes theaters don't have that listed. You might have to call them. Maybe you request. It's pretty late to request it at this point, but maybe you can. Try it out. And I mean, hey, if you can, if you're able to give for someone else, or You know, if it's not within a local theater, like, I mean, this is a big deal. Maybe just take the whole day and travel, you know? Maybe you want to do that. So there's my spew for that, and I'll keep spewing it until until the week of. But we have
As
over
you
a
should.
million
I mean,
tickets sold, so that's fantastic.
it's supposed to be, within the next few days that this is actually it's supposed to start.
Yes, actually, it's supposed to come out. They say like July the 4th for most places, but some places it's like the 3rd because it's like the week of. So
Oh, it doesn't
yeah,
have to
so
end.
check it out.
Now that you're home, bring yourself in here. You come talk to us, and we'll just kind of hang out for an hour or whatever. See what's going on with Robin. When Ash gets home, she can come join us. Doesn't need to end right now. There's no reason that us and we just need to be like, oh, okay, all right, see you later. We're gonna go away. We don't need to do that. Come talk to us.
Fuck you and your New World Order.
No, that's not the one that gets to her. You know which one that gets to her?
Oh yeah.
Bing, bing. I love it.
Yes.
Bing, bing. I love it. I love it. I'm sitting there tweeting. Bing, bing, bing. You press a button. Bing, bing. They all hand you check.
You can't do too many.
They'll hand you checks. They go bing, 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 bing. You know, beautiful soldiers on the wall. They go bing. They go ping bong.
Oh no! Come on, Robin. Come say hi to us.
When the red
Come
red
hang
robin
out. Come hang out with us. I know you want to. We'll only ask like 10 more times. Right, America Shirts?
Right. Exactly.
So.
Oh, later, Heidi.
Robin. Come on.
And by the way, if they do, that means, not a joke, everybody, that's why we were defeated in 2018 when they tried to do it. We went to 54 states.
Yes, all 54 of them. Not the 58 that Obama said, but the 54 states of Biden's regime.
Did he split DC 4 ways and just like made like it's like 4 extra states?
I mean, maybe he was counting some territories or something,
Maybe.
I guess. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy your night. We'll see you back tomorrow. Another episode of Shtick with Koolfrogg, 10 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Yeah, 54. Yeah. Come on, Robin. Ooh.
Pelosi.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show, Fred.
It's George.
I thought you said s'mores.
No, it's George.
I have some inside knowledge from a little birdie
Excuse me.
that
George.
somebody just might be coming to join us in a short moment.
Oh, great. Well, let's see what you guys say. Pelosi has to say is
You know,
it's
the
interview.
United Spot. You know, the United Spot. There's something I always really enjoyed about them, but I seen that they had put something out like a week ago, saying that they're going to be done with YouTube because they get censored so many times, demonetized or whatever on high watch content. So.
Are they moving somewhere else? I didn't catch that.
I don't know. Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's that they're just on Rumble now, or if they're actually going to take themselves to another place altogether. But yes, removing themselves from YouTube due to whatever reason, inaccuracies or absolutely knowing what is better for them. Maybe they went over to Kick.
Kick?
Seems to be a popular platform. Yeah, Kick. Somebody like the likeness of XQC went over to Kick, and he's actually doing, I don't know, some $100 million deal or some, I don't know, $100,000
live
deal.
streams?
Yep, doing live streams, getting a deal to actually stream there, non-exclusively. And I'm like, geez, you got to be ridiculous right now. You're gonna give them that much money? I'll take some of that. I'll definitely take some of that.
Oh, house drinker.
It's actually pronounced house drinker.
That's what I said.
That's what I said.
So, house drinker.
Yes?
Why does the San Francisco National Maritime Historical Park need $102.2 million?
Because I said so.
Okay. Can you explain the $63.5 million for the Golden Gate Recreational Area?
Sure I can.
Okay. And can you explain the $200 million Inflation Reduction Act check you cashed?
Yep. Went right into my bank account.
$365 million in deferred maintenance in your own district?
Are you just going to ask me questions about how I responsibly spend taxpayer money?
Well, I just want to know.
Question!
House drinker, are you?
Mine's a clutch as fuck right now.
I'm sorry, what was that?
What?
Are you planning on retiring soon?
Are you insane? Why would I retire?
Well, because you're 82.
82 is a new 40. Plus, America needs me.
Well, don't you think it's time to let someone a little younger and a little less corrupt take over?
What? So they can get all the stock tips and get rich and powerful and have control of all the peasants?
Well, I was actually thinking more in lines of helping Americans.
Americans don't need help. Other countries need help.
I think Americans need help too.
I think I know what Americans need, okay? I've been laundering money for a long time.
But Americans are hungry. They need money.
They're hungry. They need money. Most of these peasants don't even have jobs. What do they need money for?
To live? To eat?
To live? To eat?
Yeah?
Listen to me, okay?
All right.
I need money to live and eat. And the only people that need money are successful people.
Successful
Important people, you know, rich people who have mansions and cars and expensive ice cream.
Well, what about those that are less fortunate
And expensive
than you?
ice cream.
Fuck them. They get what I give them.
Okay, house drinker.
Yeah.
Are you afraid the Republicans are going to vote you out?
Nope. Not at all.
How come?
Because I see the future.
You do?
Yeah. I got a crystal ball.
How do you see the future?
You want answers?
Well, yeah, I'm a journalist.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
What the hell is truth?
Yeah, I can.
So we live in a country where politicians are rich and powerful. Who's gonna do our jobs, huh? You?
I'd like to be rich and powerful.
Shut up!
Okay.
You have the luxury of not being rich and powerful.
Ooh.
You know what? Because I won't give you the truth.
Well, how come you won't give me the truth?
Because, You want me on that wall.
I do?
You need me on that wall.
What?
We use words like shilling, dishonesty, and money.
Okay.
We use these words as the backbone of life spent trying to control something. You use them as a punchline.
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
I have used the time of the inebriation to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of fear and poverty that I provide.
So you don't plan on going anywhere?
Nope. Get used to this face, America. Just like Vader, just like Feinstein. I'm in this
So
life.
what happens when you
When I go, it'll be a regular weekend in Nancy's. I'll be pulling strings from heaven.
Heaven?
Oh my god. If you have not subscribed, you should totally go subscribe. And as Koolfrogg said, apparently he's the United Spots is leaving the tubes for elsewhere, so could stay up to date as to where they go and what happens with them. Because holy crap, like nobody else does it better. At least not in that context.
Right?
Oh my god, Heidi's still here even after she's like, I go to bed. It's like it's house stranger.
Come on. No, you don't get the tab.
So are we waiting for the Robin to come bopping along still, or is that not a plan anymore?
Yeah, she's supposed to be coming along here in a moment. So, look, as we speak,
Speak of the Robin, and she'll come a bobbing.
What's up, Robin?
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. How are you, Shirts?
Hi, doing well.
I'm not getting it to me. I want it.
Somebody's not doing well. Hey, who is this? So,
he's just busy for a minute. Hi, everybody in chat. Nice to see you. I think people are winding down now. You guys had a great show. I was so happy to be able to catch it too. Missed you guys.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to get like the Viva Fry vibe of like every time I see Justin Castro of Canada, I just want to like puke in like to my left.
I was wondering how long it would take you to say something. Yeah, it is what it is, right?
I mean, it's kind of ironic because like literally like I had to step away a second time because like not from Justin Castro there, but like later on in the show, like I actually started to feel nauseous. Like I don't know what the heck. Like I guess it was like a delayed response. I don't know. It like just shouldn't kick in fast enough. I don't know.
What is it about him? You just like he's insincerity. I don't know what.
Oh
his
yeah,
face
the
or-
cringe, the insincerity. That like he's like he's like 6 foot and he like sits here and talks like this. Like you know things like that. Like it's just kind of like okay, and then like oh the dabby of the like like oh he's fake crying, or like oh he's gonna like dab his eyes every other day or whatever. It's people kind. Like how many other cringe statements can come out of this person's mouth? I don't know. Like
Hi, Shayla. Yeah. There's a lot of various opinions amongst Canadians about all of that. I can't speak for everybody, so, Was I saying that correctly, Shayla, or is it Shiloh? Shiloh?
yeah, she'll answer to both, I guess.
Sorry about that. So, as far as that goes,
Hi, Heidi.
Valerie says, "Well, I'm a real Canadian, and I
There.
do not think very much of it uh, at
At all,
all."
probably.
Maybe, yeah,
Probably, yeah.
right. So when you get a lot of Canadians that actually like this channel that have a tendency to come around, which is the reason that we felt it necessary to actually do a Canadian edition
Mm-hmm.
and bring some Canadians around. Uh,
Yeah, you have quite a few viewers that are from Canada, right?
Amazingly enough, yes. It's like it's kind of awesome to actually see such a thing, So for all those Canadians that are listening, I'm gonna actually try making it a regular addition to actually do something Canadian. I know I had attempted to do that once before, and I was fairly successful when I thought about it, and I actually went ahead and looked into Canadian news. Being wildfires as big as they are right now,
Mm-hmm.
and what they're actually consuming, has any of that actually hurt you?
I'm in Quebec, so um, there are a large number of fires burning in Quebec, but in certain areas, I don't know why it affects some areas, and then other areas there's like you can see like smog, and it just looks like a heavy dose of smog, and people are wearing masks. I don't think that really helps, but um, it's affected mainly in Ontario, as far as I know. But in our area, it's been kind of sporadic. Comes in for a few days, and then all of a sudden, the sky clears up, and then all of a sudden, it comes back. So it's been really weird how the smoke has been traveling.
And have you heard anything from Ash? Like,
She. Oh, go ahead.
oh well, I mean, if you know, go ahead. I was just going to speculate something.
Oh, for the smoke, as far as I know, there was an order at some point where she had to stay inside. Like they literally said, close your windows and your doors and everything, and stay inside for like I'm not even sure how long, if it was a day or 2 days or something like that or longer, but I do know that that had happened maybe about a week ago, I guess. Something like that.
I mean, my concern was like, did
But
the fire come through, damage something, take the power out? Like, I don't know, because I haven't heard sight or sound of her.
She had mentioned last week that it was affecting the le réseau, like their connections, like their internet connections or electronics, things like that. She said that there was like kind of like a film on her car that was building of ash, kind of, like a small film of dust or ash or whatever it is. And she had shared a picture or two of the sun, how it was like blocked out from the smoke and stuff. So she was affected more of it than I was. You know, that's the hands-on attest of how it affected her. But for the rest of the province over there, I don't know. I have family in Ontario, but I haven't spoken to them in a long while. So, yeah, it's been crazy, and I heard that it was going all the way down to New York State and coastline and everything. So
Oh, there she is. Hey,
who? What?
Ash.
Yes.
She's here. Oh, she's
Yes.
she's home.
She does have a link. She did say that she would see what she could do after work. So
Yeah.
I don't know what scheduling normally looks like for her. So it should be fun if that occurs.
Well, good.
That'd
It
be kind of
sounds like
cool.
things are fairly normal with her, so good.
Yeah, my schedule's been unpredictable for the last couple months. So I'm just getting back into things, but
So for Canada Day, do you all eat a lot of like what is this poutine, right? Like the fries and the cheese and the goodies, like.
that's the big thing. I think we were joking about that earlier or whatever. Somebody said that they like probably poutine that is the main thing, but no, me it's pizza. I love pizza. But it is the main attraction in Quebec for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Montreal smoked meat, actually, that's the best. If you ever have a chance.
As interesting as that is, there's some native Canadians that have moved themselves into this area and started up a restaurant where that's their main star is their poutine that they say resembles a home oh so much. So I've actually tried it. It's actually very good.
But did you have the right cheese though? Because I've tried poutine in other places and they never had the right cheese. It was like a weird kind of either mozzarella or it was like a different kind of.
What do you call the right cheese? I want to say.
I call it squeaky cheese, but it's not. It's curd cheese. I don't know how they make it, but it's just
it's like something similarly close to like
I'm like, no wonder people don't like poutine if they've tried it because they don't
no,
have the right cheese. You gotta have the right sauce.
It wasn't like the cottage cheese. It wasn't creamy like that or whatever, but it still had the chunks, the curd, whatever that you right. So yeah, it made the proper way then.
Okay.
So it very interesting that this place actually existed. And we're like, really? They're like, yeah, it's actually made by people that come from Canada. I'm like, you came here, huh?
Oh, I think you told me about that place a while back, didn't you?
I think it probably did. But yes, poutine is very well known in this area. There's a lot of people that actually understand what it is and why it is what it is. Because it very good. One of the more expensive things to come out of that.
Yeah, they're quite expensive. Oh my god! At one point, I went to visit Vermont, and we had ordered poutine down there, and they had put shreds of mozzarella all over it. It was just, we were like, "What's this? Oh, that's not a poutine." But oh no.
Oh, so the cheese curds in this. It says it's been separated from the whey. And they have a mild salty flavor. While many people think they're mozzarella, they're actually young cheddar. So it's not aged cheddar. It's like it's literally freshly made cheddar. And there's actually other places that actually call that type of cheese that you were to use and not let cheddar age and just use it like that. They call it squeaky cheese.
I call it squeaky cheese. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. But there's also different kinds of squeaky cheese that different places make. We used to get our cheese from the local farm. Well, not local now, but where I grew up. And they had the best. They stopped making it, but they made it themselves. And there's different kinds too. There's some kinds that aren't that great, in my opinion. But
closer to the farm, the better. But yeah, that's interesting. So they're like, some people think that, oh, well, it's just like mozzarella. It's like, well, no, it's just like you're making cheddar cheese, but you don't like let the curds, you don't compact all the curds when you make the cheddar cheese and then like pack it all together and like store it and like age it. Like you just use it there. Like, oh.
I had made a video last year about poutine. I never published it. Maybe I should go back and find it. Ash is here.
It's Ash.
Wow.
Hello, everyone.
Kill shot.
And I heard that little voice.
Aw.
What is up?
Ash, how the heck are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing pretty well.
Hanging out here.
Oh, by the way, since you haven't sent me pecan pie yet, Ash, I want an order. I have not forgotten.
You might as
I
well
want
order,
I
like,
want I
4
want
of them.
I want a little bit for what do we call this? Interest. I want some ketchup chips.
Okay,
Can
okay.
that can that be? Can
So
that be
ketchup chips, coffee crisp, all dressed chips.
Oh man, we went all out with that conversation, didn't we? List of groceries.
I've actually had ketchup chips before. They are incredible. They're amazing.
Yes, they are.
I don't know why they're not sold more in the United States.
I
They're
was just gonna ask you
absolutely
that.
delectable.
I was just gonna say, are you telling me that you guys don't have access to ketchup chips very often? Is that...
No, really, it's not a very requested thing.
I
I mean,
don't know.
I sometimes end up like if I ever have, and like I mean, if I have anything potato, I make it myself mostly now. But like in the past, when I've had potato chips and I don't have access to ketchup chips, well, I just have to end up resorting to dipping them in ketchup. You know? But like it's like why not just put the ketchup with the chip like in the bag like they do other places, like, you know.
You'd need to get like dried ketchup and then sprinkle it on your chips.
Yeah, I don't know if the dipping it in ketchup tastes the same.
No,
Doesn't
it has to
sound-
be dried ketchup. And do you guys have all dressed chips over there? We have that here.
All dressed chips. What is
Yes, by Ruffles.
Oh, I have to say this. This is terrible. I was like,
Sounds like a fully loaded.
well, you're on the subject of poutine. My mom came home the other
No,
day or
schmecko.
whatever with craft dinner. Oh my god, they came out with the flavor of poutine craft dinner, and I was like, that's just wrong. That does not.
The craft dinner one? Ew.
Oh my god, does not fly.
Crab dinner is mac and cheese. In Canada, we call mac and cheese crab dinner.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, it's not craft dinner?
Why can't you just call it mac and cheese?
Oh, craft
Katie.
dinner. It's just a
Why do you have to
company.
be so complicated?
It's the company. It's the most popular company here that makes it. That's why. Just call it that. But I boycotted
See,
that. I don't even taste
our great grandparents went through the Depression. That's where that came from. See.
it. Hi, Valerie.
Good night, Valerie. Have a good one, dude. Fellow Canadians in the house. There's a couple of them. There's a couple of them that like to watch this show. So you sent me these pictures.
Mm-hmm.
You sent me these pictures here.
Those were taken throughout the month, and if you want to share them, you can. It's just my backyard and.
That's the fire
whatnot.
pictures there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So then you can see the big plumes of smoke in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you can kind of.
Oh, I could have
zoom
pulled up
in.
my pictures too, but my pictures are not like mine just shows like a kind of a haze, like a smog haze thing. And you at one
night
point
haze?
well, at one point when if you're walking through the town or driving through the town, you can see like sometimes there's like these clouds of smoke that come through the trees. Like you can see it a little bit in that picture that she sent. In my town, there was like just these little clouds of smoke coming through the streets. You know, it was weird. It was ominous. It was kind of.
This was supposed to be a sunny day. That's not clouds. That's all smoke.
Yeah, that's the sun picture you showed me, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is supposed to be like it was sunny, barely any clouds, hot, but that's all smoke.
So let me ask you: was it still hot, or did it?
It was
cool?
hot. It was very like humid hot. And smoky.
Stunk. And everything
Oh, yeah.
stinks. Like
Yeah, everything
campfire.
stinks, and there's a film on my car.
Yeah, that's what
It's
you were telling me.
disgusting.
And I'm thinking, like this past weekend, you were talking about Canada Day, right? And they still had the Canada Day parade in Montreal. Like they they still went ahead and did it. We had like tornado warnings, plus
Tornado.
Yeah, we had tornado warnings over the weekend. Montreal and some places, Ontario too.
How the
And
crap do you get a tornado in?
I don't know, man. It's just weird
Excuse me.
crap going on these days. Is that from Harp? Remember that? Remember Harp?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. People stop talking about it, but you never know. Maybe that was a while ago. I think I used to
hey,
watch.
earlier we were talking about geoengineering.
I used to watch Jesse Ventura.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he was fun to watch.
That show, yeah.
You didn't
Yeah,
watch
the
him
great
when he...
Emmerich Jones consulted on several of those episodes.
Well, he did the mainstream media for a little while, but they booted him out because he was like, I want to tell the truth, like he's telling the truth about the government and whatever, all over the place, and he was talking about heart and all kinds of things. So I guess he ended up moving to Mexico. But yeah, weather changes and stuff. It's so rare that we get tornado warnings, but we did this past weekend. So I had to clean up the property and make sure it was all okay. That's what I was doing Saturday, actually. That's why my family stuff, the party or whatever, got canceled. And on top of that, they still had the parade going on in Montreal before the weather started to come in.
I'm surprised because here everything was
too.
canceled. Everything was canceled.
Well, yeah, and like I was shocked myself to see that they were still celebrating. People had their masks out and everything, and they're like, "Oh, well, it's the first time in a while that we wear a mask for a different reason than the other reason."
Oh my God, there's this one person that goes to the place that I work every weekend, and this same individual still has a big, thick black mask over their face. It's the most ridiculous crap ever. And they still do this.
Did you ask them why?
No. There's not a lot of cognitive activity on up.
Really,
the elevator doesn't
because
go all
it's
the way
his
to the
job, he really shouldn't actually encounter the guy. But the day that he decides to actually walk away from this job for whatever reason, because I know it will happen. Anybody that works that kind of job usually does at some point in time in their life. I would say that's the guy that I would confront as I'm getting ready to go. Just be like, by the way, and explain exactly what the mask does not actually do, and just lay it into them and let them know the actual truth, and see if they take the mask off of their face.
No, they're libtarded. They can't. It's just
You might be surprised. You might be able to actually sway some of these opinions.
I mean, like I said, like the eyes. It's like there's no activity up there. Like it's just blank. It's just there's no rational thought.
Northwest Territories, nobody's around.
I mean, this individual is, oh my God, like this individual has to be like in their late 60s, early 70s, like, and they're just like you just tell it's like nutso every day is like MSNBC and CNN, and even when there's not a coof ticker someplace, he's got a coof ticker laying over someplace. Like he's got one pulled up on his phone, like counting all of the, like one person reported something over here still. Like it's just he's one of those type of individuals. Anyways, I think it's hysterical. Like every time he gives in. Like after I'm done, I'll just, after he's, does his thing, I just start giggling.
Do you guys still have let's say in the medical centers, because I've had to go a lot to the hospital and to the medical centers and things like that. So, like, we still have, they don't make people wear them like they used to, but there's still people in the medical centers that suggest to wear it. Do you have that, or it's just like gone?
Somewhat. Like in like a hospital or whatever. Some of the people in there will still do that. Just because sometimes I'll see a sign up that says, to do whatever with this or that or something, like, I was like, I haven't heard anything. But but that's the like a hospital or a medical place or whatever.
I mean, it's for sure that people have to wear their masks if they're feeling symptoms or sick or whatever, just have a cold or whatever. I mean, it was like that even before. So,
But even if you wear 2 masks or 3, you get 13 on your face. That'll really stop you from breathing.
that voice gets me every time.
Also, remember, get your jab, kids.
Oh my. So the 4th of July, what happens with that? What are you guys gonna do for that?
That's what I did yesterday. Went and watched fireworks.
Oh, you're lucky.
Yeah, he just decided to do it early rather than the day.
We did not celebrate Canada Day. We celebrated the 4th of July early.
That's what he wants you to believe.
Yeah, I was gonna say. But it is a good question, because the 4th is tomorrow, right? So
Tuesday.
And it's a weekday. So the festivities have to happen.
Yeah,
this past
technically
weekend.
tomorrow. She's right. It's Monday right now.
Oh well, you know what? Like, screw it.
I'm right this time. Yay! For once. Oh. So there were fireworks and everything for the 4th of July, but is it like, was it a general thing, like everybody was celebrating over the weekend at the same time, or?
Yeah, the place that I went, it was supposedly private land. Took some couple hours for us to get to this location. We had to follow somebody else to get to it. Otherwise, you wouldn't make it there, because you would know which gravel road to actually take.
GPS
Very,
doesn't
very
work.
low maintained roads. We made it there, and we made it back. It was about 4 hours worth of fireworks.
What?
Very amazing amount of fireworks. These people actually own a fireworks stand. So, for them to actually have that amount of fireworks is not something unheard of.
Wow.
Apparently. If we get lucky enough to actually go and join them, Tadpole definitely enjoyed his day. He thought it was one of the best things ever. He's just
sweet.
smiling the whole time.
Yeah.
And so, you do what you can when you can. And that's what, it was a weekend. It's technically 4th of July weekend. Though it didn't seem like it for so many, there will be some that will actually try to say next weekend is also 4th of July weekend, and try to, party it up on an extra weekend because they forgot to do it this weekend.
Or they couldn't, maybe. Or they didn't want to celebrate at the same time as Canada.
Canada.
They're like, I don't care about Canada Day.
Yeah.
I'm
We can't
starting
celebrate
to think that,
this
like, he
weekend.
went
It's Canada.
Like 1/16 of a latitude northerly from where he used to be, and it's just like the Canada is just like it's like it's I did how do I describe this? He's being infected. It's like it's having this draw effect of like, you know, now he's wanting to like celebrate with fireworks on the 1st of July rather than the 4th, and like, you know, he's eating Canada food. He's eating the poutine. Now he's like, I mean, he's gonna soon he'll be just like, you know, you'll come on here and all you'll hear is this accent.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
And it'll be weird because he'll still have the beard.
Oh my gosh. Well, originally poutine was from Quebec, and the rest of Canada didn't even have poutine.
See,
Ah.
Canada is
a
known
new
for
thing.
poutine, but where I'm from, it's ribs. Rib fest.
Montreal's smoked meat. That's the main thing.
We have a rib fest every year, and there's actual competitions and everything.
Oh, what's that? Where's it go? Where'd it go? You hear fireworks 4 hours long? Like, we...
No. Take that off of the screen.
Uh-oh.
He knows better.
Nobody saw it.
He knows better.
Nobody saw it. It's okay.
It's fireworks.
Caricatures.
Well,
Yeah,
fireworks...
but that particular set of fireworks, because of what it is not YouTube friendly.
It's another YouTube game. Yeah. Gotta play the game. Blech. I'm not good at it.
So there's her. She says she's known for the best ribs. Yum.
Yeah.
I would definitely devour as many ribs as possible.
Oh yeah. You pay like, I think it's like $12 and you get all the ribs you can eat.
Man, we don't have that. We don't have that here.
Oh, no?
No, we don't have any of that funness. It's not even a word, but whatever.
Funness.
Make up my own words.
We all do.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna take a trip to Ontario soon.
Yeah.
Check out the Rib Fest. Why not?
I'll have to let you know when next year's is. I think this year already happened, so I'll let you know.
Dang. This summer is supposed to.
I'll have to check.
This summer was supposed to be my summer to get back out there and have fun. And last summer I didn't do much, so this summer I was ready to go out and maybe go camping, explore, travel a bit. But,
yeah. I wanted to travel this year too, but financially and gas prices are saying no.
Oh, there's the other thing going on. It's all the prices for groceries, and
it went up 12 cents here again.
Everything. Rent, for even for the elderly that can't even afford to pay their rent anymore because they keep hiking it up here. But that's a Quebec thing, not a Canada thing. But maybe it is a Canada thing. But
yeah, it is a Canada thing. It's been going crazy all over. Gosh.
Yeah.
Oops, I'm going to mute myself for a second.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
okay.
I think Shirt. I was gonna say, I think Shirt's left too, and here I am all by myself. Oh no, the Shirts are still here! Yay!
Indeed.
He's like, oh, I'm here.
I'm not nauseated as I once was. I'm actually kind of craving cheese now.
Yeah, we never got to send you the curd cheese, But Koolfrogg says that there is a place where you can get the same stuff.
Sorry about that. I was having some technical issues and there were some not nice words that were going to come out. I'm better now.
Glad to hear it.
So he said like 4 hours for the fireworks. That's what kind of blew my mind because here, if we would have been allowed to have fireworks, because we weren't.
Not even
But
20 minutes.
exactly. It's if you're lucky, they go for 45 maybe. And they'll charge if you go to the la plage.
The beach.
Go to the beach. That's usually where they have them. And or in Montreal, it's on the island, and then they'll have the fireworks show on the island, and the rest of us an island where nobody can walk around on, and everyone else sees it from the around. But it never ever lasts very long.
No, the best fireworks I've seen so far were in Ottawa, and we were on the on the river, so the Mattawa River or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in a boat, and that was the best fireworks I've ever seen, and that was tops 25 minutes.
Well, Montreal has really good fireworks downtown, but if you're on the outskirts and they do it in a municipality, then it's not the same. And even if they put a lot of money into it, it's not. They'll charge you at the entrance.
Yeah.
And then you're expecting like a really good show. You bring your kids, you have your your snacks and your lawn chairs, whatever set up, and then
that was the only way we
that-
could do it for free was to
all that
dock
for
the
40
boat
minutes.
in a different place so that we didn't have to pay at the marina and then we went down the river.
Yeah. Well, yeah, lots of people do.
Yeah, most of the time, like fireworks displays would be like maybe 30, 40, 45 minutes, sometimes a little more. Koolfrogg's instance is different in that, again, the people he went to go see that with were like private, like individuals who sold this stuff. So like
Right.
they have like a giant stockpile.
Okay.
That they I guess they just I don't know, expended half of it or whatever. I don't know if it goes bad or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that because here it's funny. We're not allowed to have fireworks at all this year.
No.
But we can sell them. Where I work, we're selling them. So it's like, oh yeah, spend $150 on this beautiful package of 5 fireworks that you can't
they're
use.
so expensive. I don't know how much it is where you guys are, but it's so expensive here. And there were people that were setting off fireworks when they weren't supposed to. I don't know if any of them got caught, but it's a huge fine.
Oh yeah. Here we have helicopters flying almost every day to see if anybody's doing fires or setting things off or whatever.
Yeah,
They're very strict here.
Yeah, you were hit harder than we were because here there was it changes obviously from day to day and week to week, but at one point they were allowing small fires if it had a chimney, like you have a closed-in fenced foyer.
Like a fire pit, a closed-in fire pit.
Yeah, it looks like a mini stove, but it has a
well, here we call it an enclosed fire pit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because to us here, a fire pit is an open fire pit, like a campground. Where they have the stones or the rocks or
like a pit with fire.
Yeah, and you're not allowed having those, but.
Well, at one point here, we had 50-something fires just around us. And now I think we're down to 3 or 4 that are, well, maybe, 3. I'd have to look at the map again.
So if I look at the updates for the smoke and the fire, let me see. 4 days ago, no, you need one like sooner than that. It'll be 2 days ago. Even next, it's even changing from day to day, right?
Yeah, well, every day it goes. We're either in the blue, the green, or the red. So the blue is like low, or no, green is low, blue is like medium, and then red is very high risk. And we're always between blue and red.
Let me see if I can find that for Koolfrogg, because I think there was a map I came across earlier. Who knows? Unless you.
Sorry, I got distracted by
Okay.
a tadpole. So as far as that goes, there's
There's a map. I saw a
I'm
map.
squirreling at the moment because there's you said there at one point in time there's like 53 fires in an area, and now it's only 3.
Yeah, but I've got a
so
map
like-
that I can show you. There's actually more than I thought.
Oh, she's faster than me. She's gonna pull
acreage
it faster
wise,
than mine.
you know, like one fire 1, 2, and 3 eventually merge with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it just become fire 1?
Yeah, I guess.
You
I'll
have
show
an
you
up-
the map that I have.
You have an updated one, because the ones I'm finding that I can't find the one I had earlier today, but the closest one I have is from like 4 days ago. It's gonna be like a live map or something.
So this is Ontario alone, and this is the active fire map for Ontario. And I will try to find Quebec. Un momento.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike. Good morning
Here's
to you.
Oh, hey. Here is a video of the satellite when these fires started over in the eastern portions. And
Yeah.
if I'll let this play a little bit, he like plays it back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And watch the smokestacks.
Wow, it is over in the coast. Look at that.
Well, now this is just clouds right
That's
now. Like
clouds.
it hasn't started just yet. You'll see it though, like in this area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see my cursor.
Yep, you can see your cursor.
It's like right in there, and then oh look.
Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can really
It
see where
all
they
just
started.
happened. It started about the same exact second. Sounds
Like
sounds like how spontaneous combustion works.
Yeah.
Because that's
Must
the
be
thing.
climate change.
Apparently.
Harp.
By the way, look how thick and tall those smokestacks are already. Like, I mean, this is not like a little fire that grew into a big fire that grew into another fire that then made a bigger fire, bigger fire.
Here's
there.
the
That's
thing.
yeah. That's kind of like the map I was looking at earlier today, and I can't find it now.
Yeah, that's an updated. That's like updated every couple of hours. So.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not going to disclose in which area I'm in, but yeah, there's a lot where I'm close to where I'm at.
That's just Ontario, and then you got
Yeah.
like Alberta, Manitoba, and Quebec, or Quebec. Excuse me.
So, the both of you live in this particular.
I live in this particular area. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In this
Montreal is
province,
more
I'm
east.
I'm in the next province over.
I mean, this is the one that would be the one that you would both actually look at, just because you'd be curious on where the smoke is actually coming, where it's how bad it's getting, is where I'm getting at. So
well, they're in Quebec too, and I mean, like it's all over.
That's
It's smoking everywhere. Like the video that I just showed, the smokestacks, like that was Quebec.
Yeah,
like,
that was
wasn't.
Quebec.
Yeah, that was Quebec. Like that was not Ontario itself. Like that was just Quebec. Like it's it's a little unbelievable, one might say.
But yeah, very interesting.
Did you have the timestamp on that map, or was it like current?
Yeah, that's current. That's like a few hours ago.
Okay.
Yeah. I just didn't want to disclose my area because where it said what time it updated has my area. So.
Oh yeah. But it showed a really large area that was in the red. My God, that was.
Oh yeah. Every day that's changing. It gets bigger every day.
Just like Koolfrogg said with Shirt's video, it just like you see 4 or 5 places that just sparked up at the same time. That's really creepy.
I guess Quebec doesn't want us to see the map, eh? Damn.
Could be censorship already between provinces.
Oh, you know what? You know what? That might be it. Instagram. Sorry, Google. You suck.
Yeah, God, use Google. They just talked about that. Why is Google blocking everything? Bill
I was on mute. The
Bill
smokestacks, there wasn't like 10 of them. There's like almost like 20 to 30, I think, in Quebec that was all started at the same time. And all those stacks are like thick smoke. Like that's not, like I was saying, that's not like a tiny fire to another tiny fire to a big one, but like that's all like kaboom. Like right there.
Yeah, that's
thick, like that's like a chimney fire, like pumping it out. Like holy crap.
I'm gonna go back and try and find some of those clips where Jesse was talking about HARP years ago. He was like saying that eventually these things are gonna happen. Anyway,
Another interesting thing potentially
weather changes.
That, yeah. Another interesting thing, and I believe I brought this up on the show at one point when we were talking about this to begin with, that the I forget the name of the train, but was going from Wyoming to California, and it had like how many 100 tons of ammonium nitrate, and it's just like, oh, it's just not on the train cars anymore. It's all gone. I wonder what happened to it. I don't know.
It's miraculously disappeared.
Is it just poof and it was gone? Nobody knows.
It was like there was a small hole, and it slowly leaked the whole trip from Wyoming to California until it emptied itself.
Oh my God.
Is what they're trying to claim. That's what they're trying to claim. They're trying to claim that there had to have been something that happened, as opposed to just fessing up to it and being like, well, we sold it.
Oh, geez.
Or someone stole it. CIA.
Patreon.
Mute myself.
So okay. So I'm gonna change this. We're gonna actually take this thing off the screen. So there was something else that we actually did hit on, as well, was the actual censorship, the Bill C-18 that they just passed, which looked like Google was attempting to not want to actually do such a thing. The news that's being suppressed, have you realized, can you see a difference from day to day, from like yesterday, from the day before, when looking through news, or did you never really look through your news?
I looked through my. Am I muted? I can't see. I'm not muted. Okay.
We got you.
Well, yeah, I do look through my news and stuff. I just hadn't looked in the last week or so. That's what I was saying earlier. But
sure.
Ash, have you noticed the difference? Like, because I think you've seen a few things bigger than me.
I've noticed it slowly, like especially tonight, even just looking for a forest fire map. Before I could do that in an instant, and now it's almost like I'm having a hard time and I had to go to Facebook to get my news.
Wow. Ew.
Yeah,
So
all
that's
your news now is just going to be like Justin Castro as the bestest ever, and if you disagree, well then
because they're saying like
we might relocate
it
you.
would enforce well, would enforce and facilitate deals between like news outlets and platforms like Instagram also and Facebook,
Yeah.
which is like not just Google but them as well, and the Canadian radio television stations or whatever. They would oversee these deals. But what if I use Safari instead of Google? Is that gonna make a difference?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, under the bill, I don't think it's gonna make a difference for you. I think that Google's thing was just that it was something that they weren't willing to actually pay forward to the government of Canada. It was more that they were it was something that Canada wants to tax everybody on, so that way they can actually suppress the content that's coming through. So I mean, no matter what platform you're on, because the bill is Canada's, you're gonna feel this being suppressed, or maybe you won't because you just don't, not you specifically, but others.
Yeah.
May actually just be ignorant to the point and don't pay attention in us, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is all the news that's out there. Oh, okay, I'm gonna believe it."
Well, I'll be paying attention definitely because I mean I have contacts for music and stuff in California, all over the U.S. and in Australia too, and in, as well as Canada. So we're going to notice the difference at some point. And I was listening to as much as I could. I was in the car earlier, but so I missed a couple of moments, like right when you were talking about it. I was like, "Oh crap! I have to get out of the car." But my
Next,
thing
it's going to be Justin Castro becomes Chancellor of Kanakistan, and the conservative wing of the parliament tried to burn everything down, so they had to get rid of them. And so now the glorious leader is now chief of everything, and he's just the most wonderful thing that's ever hit planet Earth. And you are not to disagree, because we already have these laws in place. It's already precedent, sir. You cannot disagree with that. The Trudeau regime is the best regime.
my thing is like if we all have contacts all over the world, how are they expecting to like? There's no real point in trying to suppress or eliminate certain news or whatever, because we're going to find out from our friends anyways, aren't we? Like we share content, we talk to each other, we have conversations, and it just doesn't seem like it's
it's not faulty proof.
Point,
It's not like it's without its holes. Yeah. It's not like it doesn't have any weaknesses, because it does. But
oh, absolutely.
That's what they
can't
wish.
Control the internet. I mean, the internet is its own entity now.
I mean, I don't know if Justin Castro's ever heard of 4chan, but like, oh boy.
Or VPN.
Yeah, or that.
Yeah, Koolfrogg was talking about that. Was it? No, it wasn't. Was it? Somebody was talking about VPN earlier. You'd have to have that.
They presented a bill in the United States to make VPNs basically illegal. Or if you used a VPN and the VPN said that you were from, I don't know, like Russia or something, then you could be facing like what is it, like $25,000 jail time for like 10
Wow.
years. You could be accused of whatever. Like it was total. It was like total insane police state Patriot Act 2.0 nutso-ness. Like outlandish insanity. Because TikTok is a Chinese spy operation bullcrap. So okay, so let's just take this to its umpth degree of insanity, and let's go and just like anybody that does anything on the internet that has anything to do with a foreign power that we would believe to be, or even an entity, not even a nation, just an entity that we would believe to be, quote, hostile to the United States, not even an enemy, not even at war, just hostile. Like you could be charged with espionage. You could be like they had the whole thing, a literal totalitarian hell movie script, like right there, and like trying to be presented on the Senate floor. Of course, it didn't go anywhere, thank God. But like the fact that they wrote that up in all the very explicit detail, I was like, somebody somewhere behind the scenes there was getting a little antsy and was like, let's get this out now. Little evil globalist gremlins working behind the scenes there, and like, hey, that's all what.
You cracked me up, man.
If we put this out now, then we'll get everybody happy.
Oh Lord! Now that he's scared everybody away.
I mean, that is the purpose of a gremlin, right? It's just, anyway.
Really? I thought they were supposed to be cute and cuddly.
Oh Lord. That bite.
Now, if we get into the goblin class, now that's a whole other level. But that's Hillary Clinton level of a class there.
I love how you slide things in so easily, man. It's like Castro. Clinton.
Like how that guy that like hung himself so easily slid the 2-barreled shotgun back at the back of his throat while his hands were tied behind his back, hanging from a tree. Like that. Yeah, like
Yes,
I mean,
that
that's you know, like that was suicidal behavior.
Wow.
Officially ruled.
Pretty slow.
That's the goblin class. With the goblin queen herself, Killer Clinton.
I mean, you have like these nicknames for everybody, man.
Run, Sanctimonious. No, I'm just kidding.
Did you write to Trudeau and tell him that he looks like Castro?
Did I write?
Yeah, you didn't write to him. Just
He'd
send him
freaking
like 2
send the
pictures.
monkeys down here, and Joe Biden would let him.
There aren't many Mounties around anymore. Not in Montreal anyway. Well, they're in downtown, but it's not in the. That's it. It's only the big cities.
Justin Trudeau.
What was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say.
Justin, plein de rien.
Canadians. Gotta love them.
I have the most interesting looking gooses there are in.
The most vicious gooses.
Hey, our geese, they travel to the States every year to get warm. Come on now. It's we share geese.
But I wonder if that's what it is. It's so nice and warm in the States, so that's why they're people in America, they're not scared of them. Then they come up here and they're like,
Yeah.
it's friggin' cold here. I'm coming after you. Don't touch me, wench human.
Yeah, geese are known to be super mean. Don't approach. That's all I can say. Don't approach. So,
Ketchup chips, anyone?
Sounds disgusting, really. I bet they're really good, though.
Anything that sounds disgusting is probably good. That's what I live by. Don't knock it till you try it.
It's like sardines, you know?
Okay, no, that's disgusting.
Disturbing that you'd even equate it to such a thing. No, I'll never want to try ketchup chips because I'll just think of sardines.
Sardines, yeah.
Orange chips?
One is
Brussels
not related to the other. Sesame Street told us.
And caviar is just disgusting. I've tried it and it's gross. No, thank you.
Oh, you don't like caviar.
No, the rich can keep it. Sorry.
I'll say the censorship is making me think of back in the day when you had to get up and change the channel for your TV. When we would turn it to I think it was like ABC or something like that, and you wanted to watch it. You can't watch it because it's not available in Canada. You can't watch it. Well, how come? Nope. No explanations.
This content is not available in your country.
Yeah.
Should
Then
record
why
that.
are you broadcasting it here?
You saying that exactly like that? You should record that and actually, use it for a sound bit somewhere.
I could. I'm behind in all my work and my song, but I'm just starting to get back to it. So yeah, there's lots of ideas. Jot them down, send them to me. You never know. You want a little sound bite?
It's not available in your country.
Something. I think it's probably, what's it, 4 o'clock here? Yeah.
Yep.
I am gonna have to.
4 o'clock in the morning for you. It's no big deal for some Canadian. You know better than that.
It's no big deal if you don't have to get up and take care of.
See, like it works different for Canada. Like the time zones go horizontal rather than vertical. They go laterally across the country, whereas you go to the United States, it's different. Like the sun works differently up there, So I mean, yeah.
Did you know it was a full moon last night? Full moon.
Was the full moon last night, or was it supposed to be?
Well, when I was driving home,
it was huge, but
yeah, when I was driving home, I
It
saw a full
was
moon.
huge.
It was huge. At least I could see it. There wasn't smoke covering it, so.
Yeah, I couldn't see it.
It was so huge. It makes me want to
go. Bing. I love it.
The full moon is actually today, Monday. So Monday at 7:39 a.m.
Okay, so usually we could see the full moon for 2-3 days, right? You see, like,
yeah, it looks like it's full anyway because of it's such a small portion that's blocked out in that last day.
Yeah.
Or illuminated per se, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Illuminate confirmed.
I took it for granted, because I'm like, hey, look at the beautiful full moon. I'm listening to Koolfrogg in the car and everything, and then I'm thinking, Ash, I saw a beautiful full moon. He's like, what? I don't see it. There's smoke everywhere. Like, shut up.
I haven't seen the sun look like the sun. I haven't seen the moon look like the moon. It's been a month and a half. I'm tired.
July's supermoon will be 14,000 miles closer to Earth than a typical full moon event.
Wow.
The first of the 4 supermoons to rise in 2023, July's lunar display will appear to be brighter in the night sky than any other full moon event that has occurred this year. The interesting is elevation. So it's like when I was living in Minnesota, it was like 600, feet above sea level. Here, I'm like 3,600 feet above sea level. That 3,000 feet is really seriously something amazing. How big the moon and the sun really actually feel like up in these elevations. So I bet that moon's freaking huge. Huge. It has to be huge. I'm eventually gonna actually have to go out and take a look at it. How huge it's supposed to be.
You do that so well. Oh my god. You know what sucks too is if I tried to take a picture of it for you guys, there's no way it doesn't show up nicely on a camera. Does not. You have to have a really good camera for that, but cell phone doesn't work. Does not do
The only
it justice.
moon I've been seeing is my neighbor.
Oh.
TMI.
Oh my.
Why are you looking at your neighbor?
Well, I
Yeah,
kind of
but-
have no choice when I go outside to go to my car, and he out there, bent over near my car, and I'm just like, oh, thanks for the full moon.
You should try to post it and see if it's going to be censored online.
Maybe he likes you. He likes you, and he's like, if I show my ass to her every single day, eventually she might just like it.
Ew.
No thanks. No thanks.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Probably not.
I walked right into that one.
Don't worry, I've done that so many times. Oh my goodness. No. Well, I'm glad that I got a chance to come up and say hi because I thought I was going to miss the whole thing because I had to.
Well, within another 5-10 minutes, you might have actually just done so. Might have actually missed the show.
Well, I didn't miss it. I was listening, but I had to get home and log in.
After show. So I called it an after show, after party, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
Might be something that might be interesting to some to actually get something like that. It might be something that we can look at in the future and bring somebody in the end of the show just to do a little after party, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of fun.
I am
the ever
going
changing world of this channel. Thank you all so very, very much for joining us here tonight. We're actually going to all go away. Thank you so much for check out the channels of Robin and Ash. They're both in the description line down below. Hit them up, check them out, subscribe to them. Make sure that you also go to americashirtsairfirst.com
for your most base shirts on the freaking planet, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I mean, it's summertime. Everybody needs t-shirts. They're very comfortable, very nice. I've had several raving reviews from people to me about the t-shirts. They're very good. You go to the site right there. It says shop all t-shirts right at the top. Hit that button. Takes you to the whole selection and grab yourself one. And that's how you support me and support the movement of liberty for America. And we have for our Canadian friends, our Kanakistan friends, we have a t-shirt that says Free Canada. So go check it out.
So beautiful.
Thank you, Koolfrogg. Thank you, shirts. So fun to be here. I appreciate it so much.
Well, thank you for
lastly, if you have not done so already, make sure that you check out those Rumble sites. There's Rumble sites for America Shirts as well as myself. Anything goes wrong here, that's where we'll be.
Indeed.
Love y'all so much.
Good night, everybody.
When are you gonna kick Guava Ball's butt again?
There we go.
Soon. I have yet to talk to him, but it'll be soon. Soon.
You like to watch a guy squeal when he's getting shot at by a woman. That's the best time to do it. It would be to watch Ash Schneider. Go down below, hit that link for her.
Poor Guava.
He likes it.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Love y'all. Later.
Good night.
Later, peeps.